Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 88. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, I also have Anthony Top
Hello.
and Bronson Fiore.
So for the third time that I'm saying this, I'm having a love affair with this pepperoni bacon Philly steak pizza.
You know, we're approaching episode number 90 for Unscripted Access. I'd be willing to bet that a third, so about 30 episodes of Unscripted Access. Whenever I introduce Bronson, his first words are related to food.
Okay, well that's because we do our meeting at like 8 o'clock, so I don't eat dinner, and then in between the meeting and the podcast, I go to grab dinner, and then I'm eating it as we're starting, and it's usually delicious because it's shit like bacon, steak, pepperoni pizza. So
I always kind of thought it's because I always kind of thought Bronson's a big guy.
that too. I'm a fat kid, so that's another reason. But as long as we're talking about weird foods, have you guys seen this breakfast taco at Taco Bell?
Yeah, the waffle tacos.
The waffle tacos, the Waco.
Man, are they coming out like these new radical food ideas to, stay alive or something? Like they freaking stuff Doritos into tacos once, right?
What those are, and they're delicious, is the taco shell is Dorito. It's a Dorito taco shell.
Oh,
So
right,
instead of
right.
And those are fucking amazing. They're well worth the extra 30 cents. But no, this waffle taco thing. When I saw this, I was just like, see, now that is like something you eat when you've just given up on life. You just don't give a shit anymore. Because what it is it's a waffle, and it's bent a little bit to be taco-esque. And then there is eggs and meat and cheese and breakfast not Oriental, Spanish breakfast stuff and American breakfast stuff on it. And I was just like, why would you do this to yourself? Why would you eat this? But on the other end of it, I kind of want us to try one before before this site eventually implodes upon itself, or gets so successful that us eating one of those on cameras couldn't be a video.
So when we are successful and have an office and we have breakfast Tuesdays or whatever, we know what to bring. We know to bring Taco Bell waffle tacos.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna bring in a bunch of awesome egg and sausage English muffins sandwiches.
Well, it depends on if I like. So I can cook really well, and I know how to make a damn good breakfast. But it just depends on the level of effort that I'm willing to put into making you fuckers breakfast. Because if it's like what I do for my mom during Christmas, it's like homemade hash browns and fucking eggs, bacon, cheese toast. I make a strawberry banana smoothie and with fresh fruit. It's fucking awesome. But when I don't feel like making breakfast, it's here's a piece of toast. Or peanut butter toast. I like peanut butter toast. Yeah, I don't know. That's next road trip we have, be it E3 or PAX or CES. I think we need to do some videos that involve food. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's gonna make some great segments when we're driving down there because there's nothing really to do in 8 hours.
It's
we're heading down there.
Here's the start of our trip. We've given up on life and bought waffle tacos.
Hey guys, we're actually gonna stop at McDonald's and buy some really unhealthy shit because we're sitting in a car for 8 hours.
Last time I drove to Seattle, we stopped at Taco Bell, and I didn't order anything. I'd been eating, because we did the thing that we do every road trip where we just get a cooler, but Ben and Mark really wanted to stop at Taco Bell for whatever reason. And it's the middle of August, so we stop in at this Taco Bell, and Portland Taco Bells just give free ice water out, just for anyone to come and grab. So, I grabbed 6 of them because when you eat nothing but salami, which dehydrates you, in a black car for an entire road for like 8 hours, you are going to be very thirsty, as I found out. Yeah. So I don't know. Remember when we were talking about going to PAX 2012 and we're like, and Sarah was on the staff? She's like, we should all try and eat a cake with our hands, put our face into a cake. I still want to try that. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. And I promise we have not been sponsored by Taco Bell. It may sound like, oh, they got a check to talk about their waffle tacos.
The problem is that you guys can't talk about the Taco Bell because all it reminds me of is an alien ship crashed near a school that's just like, okay, guys, we need you to clear the area. We're building a brand new Taco Bell.
The South Park game. That's right. I totally forgot
That's all I think about now when you guys say Taco Bell. And I'm saying that dumb actually says, sorry, guys, we're busy. We're opening a brand new Taco Bell.
All I'm going to say is let's take a moment of silence for the Taco Bell Chihuahua dog.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why did they get rid of that? Like, that was a really good mascot for them.
I think he died.
They couldn't find another Chihuahua? Like, I have a dog that's probably more representative of what happens if you feed your dog Taco Bell.
Like, yeah, but it's just the whole thing. Like, you can't really replace something like that, otherwise it kind of ruins it.
I guarantee you that Rhesus could replace the Taco Bell dog. In fact, it would be even funnier because he is a very fat Chihuahua. What's the name of your parents' dog that you posted on Twitter? That's it's candy bar name.
Snickers.
Snickers, yeah. That's weird how that worked out. Snickers and Reese's. That's weird.
I think it's pretty common that people name their pets after candies.
Well, we didn't name Reese's. Like he just like how we ended up with that dog was this coworker of my mom's is like, yeah, we're going somewhere for a week. Can you take care of him? And then like that person never came back. Just never came back. So
talking about animals with the name of candy, let's not forget about Skittles. Come here, Skittles.
Oh god, no. No. I'm sorry. That just brings back some terrible memories. I am so sorry. I can't do that.
Was that the press conference that Ben and I watched at 3 a.m. with Aaron, where we talked about the Death Star, what it would require to park the Death Star?
And meters in space, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so E3 2010.
That was Connectimals.
Yeah. So Nick, we didn't know you during this because this is the last E3 that we covered before we joined TGA. But Aaron was flying back out to Reno because he finally graduated high school and was like, fuck Baltimore. And then later he'd be like, fuck Reno, which both of those are good options in my opinion. But he flies in the afternoon and says, oh, I'm going to go to this concert and hang out with our friend Dom, then we can do a podcast at like 11 at night. And by 11 at night, between getting lost and the concert running long, he meant like 2 at night. So we end up like starting the podcast at 2:30 at night, and just let me tell you, we were near hallucinating. Like it ended up being a really funny podcast, but yeah. Oh, and then we had to be up 3 hours later to watch Nintendo's podcast. But their 2010 or not the podcast, their 2010 E3 presentation, but it was totally worth it because Nintendo's E3 2010 was fucking awesome.
Microsoft's press conference was absolutely horrific. Oh,
I mean, if you want to talk about how much fun, if you're making fun of it, it's great. Like Microsoft's like made like the worst presentation is just like the one that's so easy to make fun of. But man, did watching the whole thing really just kind of felt like, hey, gaming enthusiasts, stab.
Yeah, and Nintendo was just like.
It's like crap, bring him into the Nintendo ER room. Look, we got some games. It's okay now, breathe. It's like whoever got stabbed at the Microsoft press conference apparently just ended up in the Nintendo ER room and felt better. A little bit.
Yeah, like Nintendo's press conference that year was like new GoldenEye, new Kirby, new Zelda, new 3DS, glasses free 3D, Santa's in the parking lot giving out hand jobs. You know, like fucking Jesus, it was awesome. Like when they announced like GoldenEye, I was just like, "What? You're seriously? You're doing a new GoldenEye? That's so great!" And that game actually turned out to be pretty good. Like I was generally surprised at how good it was. Especially if you have any of you guys gone back and played GoldenEye recently?
I haven't played GoldenEye forever.
Like I played GoldenEye at New Year's, not this year but last year. We went to this local barcade called One Up. My friend Quinn and Chris and I, and we played GoldenEye. And man, do you want to talk about fucking how some games just don't hold up? Like GoldenEye just does not hold up at all. That game is fucking horrible. By today's standards, anyway. Or like there are some retro games that hold up really well. Like we Let's played Chrono Trigger, and outside of a couple things, you would have thought that's like a modern game. But oh well. I'm playing Final Fantasy.
There were some things about that were really archaic, like where the hell's my waypoint? You know, that kind of stuff.
I'm actually playing Final Fantasy 9 on my bus rides, or I was, until my car finally got fixed. Anthony, my car is fixed. Like, fixed. Everything works in it now.
Wow.
Awesome. I know. There's still, like, the roof still leaks a little bit, but...
Yeah. It's an old car.
Oh, and also, there's still no seatbelts in the back. But, still, close enough.
Cool. So let's move along. Very times 1,000 exciting news, especially for us, is PlayStation 4 1.70 is finally out, which means that we can now do our 60-minute access series on PlayStation 4 games, because HDCP is finally removed, where you have the ability to turn it off.
So, thank fucking God. And to add on to this, because this Unscripted gets posted Friday, so next week, starting on Monday, you're getting a PS3 game. I'm sorry, that's just kind of the schedule worked out. But the week after, you're getting Metal Gear and Infamous. The week after that, you're getting MLB The Show. The week after that, you're getting Transistor. The week after that, you're getting Watch Dogs or Mario Kart, maybe both. Then E3 coverage, so if we're here in town, the home base shit again. If we're at the show. We'll see. Gotta see how shit works out. Then the week after that, like, we got an entire month of mostly PS4 shit planned with a little bit of Wii U sprinkled in. So, yeah. I hope your body is ready. So, yeah, we're so excited. Anthony, we can finally do PS4 games. How great is this? Oh, and is this the patch that also enabled Twitch archiving?
Yes, it enabled Twitch archiving, and you can broadcast in full high definition now. Well, not full at 720p, but the Twitch streaming, I checked it out, the resolution's so much better. The streams no longer look like crap.
So, this I'm excited for, especially the archiving ones, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one I've done the majority of our TGA live streams. And the only one I was able to archive was Killer Instinct, and it wasn't that good, so I deleted it. And our best ones are just gone, because the PS4 couldn't archive. So now only the people who watched it will have the memory of my first time playing Outlast. There were about 40 people who watched me play Outlast, and they all watched me scream like a little girl. So, yay. No, that's actually the thing I'm kind of like most excited for is PS4 archiving now, because I would have been streaming Madden like every day on the TGA Twitch. It's just it didn't archive, so it's like, why fucking bother? You know?
Yeah, this update added a lot of things. So let me go through real quick. So obviously the big one for us is the option to disable HDCP for games. You cannot disable it for Blu-ray for obvious reasons. This also adds the video editing software Share Factory, which is very cool. It adds new PlayStation camera commands. As I discussed, it increased increased broadcasting resolution and archiving support. It also now adds the ability to preload games purchased digitally. So, for example, Watch Dogs is going to be the first game to support this, where you can pre-order the game and it will download before the game's released You won't be able to play it, but it'll download so that when the game is released, you can just play it and not have to wait for it to download, which is really cool. Also, Sony has added the ability to change the brightness of the DualShock 4 light bar. It gives you the ability to set it from bright to medium or dim. And now the touchpad can also be used to operate the on-screen keyboard. So it's a pretty big update. Really solid update.
I like the idea. I actually, to be honest, I know it's a very, very minor feature, but I really like the option of dimming the light on the controller, because to me it was like, why did it always have to be so bright anyways when you're not really using it? Because like the only memory I have of that light bar really being used was doing Tomb Raider, and it was doing really dumb things like, we're gonna flicker a billion different colors when you're shooting your gun to make you feel like you're shooting it. I'm just like, I don't care. I just want to shut that thing off.
I told you guys the dumb story that happened with Tomb Raider, right? Like, I don't normally play games with my lights off, so I don't even lights all off. So I normally don't even notice the light bar at all. Like, it doesn't. It's not in my mind. It's not really on in my mind unless I play with the lights off, which happens like once every 2 months. But for some reason, I was playing Tomb Raider. I had the lights off, and the first time you get a gun, like I see a light flash in my room. Like, what the fuck was that? Huh, that's weird. And like at first, I thought like, is something wrong with my fucking TV? You know? Eventually, after like 20 minutes of this, I looked out and see, oh, okay. The other thing that Tomb Raider did is it had voice control through, and I had my Astros on, and it would like just randomly pause. I'm like, why the fuck does this game just keep pausing for no reason? And then I figured out that was why. So, oh god, all the new technology is fun. Especially when you're an idiot. Great. Anyway, what's next in this update?
Well, that's pretty much, I pretty much covered everything in the update. Like I said, the share factory is the other big thing, the ability to really add some spice to your videos that you're recording and be able to stream in 720p HD now. And like I said, dimming the light bar, you can now use the touchpad to operate the keyboard, which makes sense. It's a pretty solid update. It's nice to see updates like this because it really shows that Sony's listening. Like, yes, HDCP, yes, we've been complaining about that. Should have been there day one, but they took care of that. The light bar, people were complaining about that. They fixed that. People were asking for the touchpad to be used to operate the keyboard. They fixed that. So, gotta give Sony props for that.
I want the touchpad to be able to use as a mouse on the web browser. Like that would be, because that's what it's used for in Assassin's Creed, and that's super smart.
It's a little small though. If you're using it for a web browser, because I mean, I don't own a PlayStation 4, so I don't really know, but
you'll get one for Destiny. Don't worry.
Oh, no, not yet.
But
anyways, it's just like when I look at the touchpad on the PlayStation 4, I almost sometimes look at it like kind of like a laptop touchpad. And the laptop touchpad is like kind of like barely big enough for web browsing on a regular laptop. So, the thing is like, using that as a mouse cursor, yeah, it could work, but it's a little tiny.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean that's one thing I like about the MacBooks is the MacBooks have huge touchpads on them compared to most laptops.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say I like about my Alienware. Like for a 14-inch laptop, this is a fucking huge touchpad. It is a healthy sized touchpad. Not as big as a Mac, but still, like for 14-inch laptops.
Well, yeah, the reason why the MacBooks, like I have a 15-inch, and it's pretty big. The reason why they're usually large on the MacBook is because of all the gestures and pinching the zoom and all the crazy stuff that you can do with Mac OS.
Well, you know what? Does it light up when you touch it like the Alienware does? I think not.
Well, yeah, but I'd rather... that doesn't
Does
matter
your
to me.
Alienware have aluminum construction?
It does on the... Yeah, actually it is.
Does your Alienware have a Retina display?
No, it does have a 1080p screen, though. Really good one.
That's not a Retina display.
Okay, well...
Now, I just probably realized that a bunch of PC diehards are screaming at the screen right now saying,
Alex!
You said Retina? It's not truly Retina. Well, yeah, let's be honest, Bronson. We already know who that kind of person is, but honestly, it's just like...
No, Alex listens to the show. He's probably super pissed right now.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of heavy PC enthusiasts like him are also going to come up with plans to choke me for saying Retina display. Look, honestly, my eyesight kind of sucks, but I can't really see the pixels on that screen, so yeah, pretty good screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, at this point, Retina is just a marketing buzzword because let's be honest here. I have an Android phone. It has what is it? 447 pixels per inch, and I can't see the pixels on the darn thing either.
So, yeah. You know, I was watching this video on GameSpot, and everyone was complaining at 32 inches or better. You can't really tell the difference between 720p and 1080p on a phone. Like, as much as you say you can, you can't. The human eye can start to tell the difference around 24-inch screens. And it starts to notice it as it gets bigger, of course. And the difference between 1080p and 4K, you only start to notice it at 46 inches or bigger.
Which is why you don't see many small 4K TVs right now. All the 4K TVs you can buy on the market are usually 55 inches and above.
Well, yeah, because there's no fucking point to it. Like,
the thing is, though, is that
like the only advantage is you get better color. That's it.
But even then, you can get better color with
an OLED.
Get an OLED or get a full LED TV or just make your LCD portion better. You know, stuff like that. But even then, though, I know there's going to be like companies out there that's going to be try and say, look, we got a 15-inch laptop with a 4K display. Because, it makes great marketing.
Yeah, like for stupid people who don't research. That's who it's for. That's who it is for. It's not for like people who like study this, who like pay attention, or like, oh wow, okay, I don't need to buy a 4K TV unless I'm 50 inches or bigger. Which in the case of my room, I have a 50-inch TV, so for me it would matter.
Okay, well here's the thing. I understand what you guys are saying, but where's the logic here then? You can definitely see the difference between a MacBook with a Retina display and one of the previous Macs. You can tell a huge difference.
Well, yeah, then that's a case where you buy. But like even then though, they improved the screen quality, but like if you were to put a Retina display next to my laptop, you wouldn't be able to really notice the difference.
I would be willing to bet money that you would, because you go into the Apple store and you look at a Retina MacBook next to a laptop or a MacBook that's not Retina, there's a pretty big difference.
Is that difference because of pixels or because of better color?
It's because of pixels. You can definitely tell. Trust me, go into an Apple store. Go into an Apple store and look at one of the Retina MacBooks. It's solely the pixels. Now, I understand the whole eye thing, and I don't understand, like, yes, obviously the bigger the screen gets, the more you can see the differences in the resolution. But if you look, 720p to 1080p is not that big of a difference versus looking at what the standard laptop resolution is up to Retina, or what's on the Retina with the MacBooks is a pretty big jump. It's about 4 times the resolution. So if you look, I challenge you guys, go to an Apple store, and I know because the MacBook I bought the MacBook before the Retina ones came out, and I look at my laptop and then I look at the ones in the Apple store, and I can tell an instant difference.
So I want to test this theory out, Anthony. We're gonna have to do it someday, because so what mine is I have a 14-inch Alienware 14 with a 1080p anti-glare screen. It's one of those screens that isn't all shiny and shit. Like kind of like old school laptops, and it looks fantastic. Like like the only screen that even comes close to it in my house is that PlayStation monitor. Like that's it.
Okay, so bros, I challenge you. Next time you go to the mall or whatever, go into an Apple store and just look at one of the MacBooks with the Retina display.
All right, I will. I don't know when the next time Anthony and I are going to head out to the summit, because we only have one. It's
quite far away.
We have one Apple store here, and it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like like I shouldn't say nowhere, but
it's in like the new area of Reno, and by new I mean very far south.
Yeah, very far south. And like they basically made a community for only rich people. is what they did. Like
they placed it kind of in the right place too, actually.
Oh, they did. They were very smart about that. I'm not saying it's the like where they built it is stupid. I'm saying that they saw like all these really expensive houses, and they said, let's build an outdoor mall there.
You think about that outdoor mall.
So the rich people don't have to leave the rich area.
Well, like think about it, where the summit is built, it's literally right on the Mount Rose Highway.
Yeah,
or right where it starts at least. And you think about it, about 10 minutes on the Mount Rose, 10, 15 minutes in the Mount Rose Highway, and you're already, like, what? Montreux?
Yeah.
Really nice estates in the Sierra Nevada mountains? Yeah.
Yeah, no, oh, man. Like, it's this really... I went to school up there for a total of like 9-ish weeks, and yeah, it is basically like they decided, man, there are a lot of rich people up here, and we can capitalize on that by just making it so they don't have to leave this area. So basically, like, if you have a ton of money and can live up there, then like you basically don't need to leave the area. Like, you don't need to come into downtown Reno anymore. Doesn't need to happen.
I feel like I kind of like drove around there a couple times, and I kind of think like the only normal store is like GameStop. That's it. Everything else is kind of like a company that's related to being on the cutting edge of fashion or something like that, like Aeropostale and Old Navy and Dillard's, like, really high end stuff. Like cutting edge.
I wouldn't call Old Navy high end. I used to shop at
I wouldn't
Old
call
Navy.
it high end, but they're kind of like.
In fact, Old Navy's
like kind of like on the more modern end of fashion.
I don't know, man. I used to shop at Old Navy, and
okay, well, if not Old Navy, then like the other stores.
Yeah, I like American Eagle, shit like that. Yeah, definitely. They're like GameStop's kind of a normal store there. They have a Hot Topic up there, which that is so funny to me. Seeing like really rich, like emo kids, like, oh, life's so horrible, as I wear these $30 t-shirts and pull out my iPhone 5S. And I drive this car my parents bought me. But fuck it, I'm gonna go cut myself. I'm just like, oh god.
Legends is that's kind of funny. Like our high end shopping centers are quite far away. Funny enough, from like, because let's be honest, like Ross and I, we live kind of like in the older areas of the city.
I live downtown
because we live like in the old areas because we've been locals. Like, we've lived here pretty much for a very, very long time. So we're not like the new people that suddenly all decided to move here 10 years ago. So, but all the new shopping centers are like far out, like towards like the outskirts of the city. Like the Legends, that's like right on the edge of, that's like on the eastern edge of Sparks. Like to be fair, you're like 2 minutes on the freeway away from the edge of Sparks. Basically.
Legends doesn't seem as snooty to me as.
Yeah, that's because the Legends actually has stores like Lowe's and Best Buy there.
Well, not only that, it also has like, it's within driving distance of like, middle class neighborhoods.
Legends is just kind of like way out in New Reno. Actually, on the outskirts of New Reno, I should say. It's like you drive past Summit, and you're outside the city already.
You got the Legends. Like Legends, that's like, I don't know, a 15-minute drive from In-N-Out and the Alley and Victorian Square, which in Victorian Square is a bunch of hell old neighborhoods.
I like Victorian Square.
Oh, I do. I'm just saying that area.
It's a very pretty place.
It is. I wish. Man, Victorian Square was really fun the night we went to that Proto Man concert, and we also nearly crashed my car. But that's for another day.
Yeah, let's move along from the Reno talk. I mean, between all unscripted access episodes, along with Bronson talking about food, we talk about Reno a lot. So, like, by now, like, everyone should know, like, Reno in and out.
Look, 3 out of the 5 people on the staff live in this city.
Yeah.
It kind of comes up.
Yeah, Nick, you should come out here once. Yeah.
Well, Nick, if you do come out here, we're gonna try and get you up to Lake Tahoe because that's like pretty much like
Lake
one of the
Tahoe's-
only highlights that this place has.
Well, and Nick could probably get a hotel. Like Nick could probably get a super nice hotel for really cheap. Hotels here are super cheap.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there's some advantages to Reno. Like
Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is very beautiful.
The events here are fun.
Yeah, you got the Reno Air Races. That's a pretty exciting event.
Also, man, if you want to go to a bar and get hammered, our bar.
Yeah,
crawls.
You're not gonna run out of those at all here.
Yeah, man.
24-hour city.
Hey, Nick, next Halloween you should come to the zombie crawl.
Maybe I'm not 100% opposed to going out there.
Yeah, like it's a fun time. I remember. Oh man. I know. I typically don't party much. Like, I'm not a big partier, but man, New Year's here is the shit. Like I don't like a lot about Reno, but man, New Year's here is awesome.
It's like I haven't gone out to a New Year's celebration before.
You should come next year
because Reno's like a 24-hour city in a way. It's not like in say Los Angeles where everything just shuts at 9. In Reno, it's more like 24 hours. Heck, our Walmart's open 24 hours, and I heard that the Walmarts down there they shut at 9. So it's like we got Walmart's open.
That was the weirdest shit about Seattle for me. Like when I went up there, it's like GameWorks closed. That GameWorks party closed at midnight, and Hayden are like, "Let's go do something." It's like everything's closed. Like, why the fuck is everything closed? It's only 12.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we kind of live in a 24-hour city. 24-hour diners, perfectly normal. Casinos, they're open all freaking day. So so it's like leave the city and realize that you can't just randomly all go and grab food at 11 at night unless it's at Denny's. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, here we have a better version of Denny's called the Gold and Silver.
And it's local.
Yeah, and it was once owned by people in my family.
I just realized that we're pushing at 30 minutes now.
Oh my god! Okay,
we haven't really talked much about the PlayStation patch. Well, I think we have. We already got our thoughts out on that.
Yeah, let's move along from the Reno talk, and then let's get into Destiny. So,
Nick, you should talk more about Los Angeles to help balance this out, so people, don't get bored.
Well, then it's just one person talking about Los Angeles, and there's too much stuff to talk about with Los Angeles. Plus, most of Los Angeles is publicized anyway, so it'd be a waste of time. But I'm gonna go ahead and move into Destiny. So, the embargo for Destiny was lifted. There's a lot of this information that was given to many outlets, not us, unfortunately. Bungie, but Destiny info has came out. New gameplay footage has been released, and the gameplay footage looks unbelievable. Bronson, you described it perfectly. What is Bungie? I mean, not what is Bungie. What is Destiny?
Well, Bungie is a 20-something-year-old game company that it's Halo, Borderlands, and Mass Effect had a baby. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it looks outstanding. The graphics look awesome. The gameplay looks highly addictive. It just looks awesome. And Bungie has confirmed that Destiny, the lead platform for Destiny, is the PlayStation 4, which really isn't too surprising. That's how many games are being developed with this generation, with the PlayStation 4 being more powerful, the PlayStation 4 being more successful this far, and then Destiny having exclusive content for the PlayStation 4, and then Sony really pushing it on the PlayStation 4. Not really a surprise, but Bungie did come out and say that they're not being overly, should I say, it's not going to be a case where the game runs significantly worse on the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. But yeah, the game looks, oh my gosh, it looks so good. I simply cannot wait. They confirmed that the beta will begin this summer. You better know that I'm going to do whatever I can to get in that beta. I cannot wait. The beta begins first on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, which is a deal that Sony got. So if you have a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, you'll be able to play Destiny before the Xbox 360 or Xbox One. But yeah, the game looks unbelievable. Cannot wait.
Visually, it reminds me a lot of Halo Reach, which I like. It looks like a great co-op shooter. I'm looking forward to it. I know there are 3 games that are getting aired by a PS4, and I'm trying to goad Anthony into one. and this game seems to be the only one that got him hot under the collar.
Unless they go out and say Gran Turismo 7, then yeah, they.
What about that new Dragon Age? It looks pretty sweet. Looks pretty
Bronson, cool. Dragon Age isn't going to work anymore because BioWare is no longer my favorite developer.
Okay, well, I mean, that new Batman, that looks fucking rad. You can drive the Batmobile now.
Batman doesn't really get me that excited now.
Let's not forget Infamous Second Son too.
That game was great. I love it. It's awesome. Yeah, hey, Metal Gear Phantom Pain's gonna be out early next year, and the way PS4s are selling, there's not gonna be a price drop, so might as well get one anyway.
Yeah, Order 1886 is awesome. Looks awesome too. Has great potential.
Yeah, we don't know what they're gonna announce at E3 yet. So I know they're gonna have some stuff lined up.
But this is the thing. Like, you guys know how much of a fan I am of Uncharted, and I'm really, really excited. I mean, a part of me is kind of worried with all these people leaving Naughty Dog. I really hope, between Justin Richmond and Amy Hennig, I really hope nothing negative comes out of that. But I'm still really excited for it. But this is the only game that I'm more excited for than Uncharted and Destiny. I just can't wait. This is the game that I am just
So. Yeah, the games that are on Destiny is not on top of my list right now, but it is definitely near the top. The games at the top are Bayonetta 2 and Heroes of the Storm. Which, like, Blizzard, why won't you let me into the alpha? Why? Let me in. I want to play. I'll write bug reports of every horrible thing I see. Trust me. God. So Heroes of the Storm just, like, once again, it looks so good, and then Bayonetta 2 is another game that just, like, every time they show a trailer for it, I'm just like, please, why isn't this out now? Why? Anthony, what about you? What are you excited for that's coming out?
With Destiny?
Destiny? Is that the one?
I'm sorry, like, you said the question kind of fast, so I kind of paused it.
Oh, what are you excited for that's been announced or coming out?
Well, I'm still pretty excited for Smash Brothers for my 3DS. To a lesser extent, the Wii U, because the Wii U version is not going to come out till like the end of the year, and that kind of was like, well, that's kind of weird. I thought they would come out on the same day or something.
As long as we're talking about Wii U games, a little bit of a segue here. They have announced hella news for Mario Kart. The first bit of Mario Kart news here is that the game, if you register it on Club Nintendo before July 31st, then you will get a free copy of Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3, or Mario U. So you are basically getting 2 games for the price of 1.
Wow.
The other thing they've announced is, hey Nick, do you have a Wii U yet?
I do not.
Well, now's the time to buy one, because get this. For $330, you will be able to get a Wii U with Mario Kart Wii, a red special edition Wiimote, a Wii wheel, and because it is a new copy of the game, you will be able to register it on Club Nintendo and get Wind Waker, Mario U, or Pikmin 3 for free.
That's a crazy deal.
That is a crazy deal. Nick, you should hop on this Nintendo train with us. It's pretty great.
No, Nintendo's just, it's not my thing.
It's going to be a magical ride, Nick. Come on.
It's the magical. Hey man, don't you want to go on the Rainbow Road? The Rainbow Road with us? That's the name of this podcast episode. Ride at the Rainbow Road.
It's going to be a magical ride on the Rainbow Road.
The magical Rainbow Road in Reno.
Oh man, that's gonna be one drugged up day when that ever happens.
So I've actually been looking at footage of this game, and it looks like Mario Kart Wii U looks really good. And I'm gonna be honest, everything they're doing with this game is kind of like, this is kind of our test run for F-Zero, guys. Like, I mean, look at the tracks. This is pretty much just a giant beta for F-Zero. Like that is the way I'm interpreting this. Also, they're bringing back the best track in Mario Kart history, Rainbow Road 64. They're bringing it, like, dude, super stoked on this. Nick, were you ever a Mario Kart fan? Like, I've been meaning to ask
Mario
this.
Kart is I love Mario Kart.
Dude, this is perfect. You can add us, and that way you can have all 3 consoles like I do, and Anthony will eventually.
Maybe.
Eventually, if anybody can come around to convincing me to buy an Xbox One.
Well, I'm not gonna bother with that because Nick and I pretty much could cover all the Xbox One stuff. But I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, you get that PS4, you're good for the generation.
Hey, guess what, Bronson?
What?
You burned up that buy this new console card last year, okay? You already burned it up because I committed to what was it? Like $300?
Yeah, it's a new year though. New year, bro.
It's like, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to save money after dumping that much money on stuff last year.
When does the deck reshuffle? Yeah, that's what I know. No, I don't know, man. Like, come do work with me this summer. Basically, just get hung up on for 8 hours. Super cool. It's awesome. Hello, sir, madam. I'm calling from blah 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 blah. Click. Oh, click. Enter into the computer. It's like I'm on a do not call list. Hang up. No, yeah, make some good cash. There you go. That pays for your PS4 in itself. Yeah, no, Mario Kart 8 looks really good. I don't know. Have you been paying attention to it yet, Anthony, or?
Not really. Mario Kart's just kind of like one of those games where it's like, oh, it's another game that everyone's going to buy for their Wii U, and I'm going to buy also for the 2 weeks that I'm going to really enjoy it, and then it just sits on my shelf until the day comes that I need to bring it over for a party game. That's it.
Well, I know I'm going to have it when oh, hey, Tori's going to be in town for that.
That being said, though, that's what happened with Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart Wii is not really the best Mario Kart. So,
in my opinion, it is probably the third worst.
Really? What are the worst ones?
The Game Boy Advance one, the original, and and the Wii one.
Yeah, it's just like Mario Kart for me. Is like I really like Mario Kart 7 though. So
7 is so good. Like I have played 7 to death.
Like Mario Kart 7 is really good because it's like freaking it connects online and it works online very well.
It's a really good LAN game too because I remember when you and I played it at Game.
And you know what? It's also pretty freaking awesome because hey, people don't have a copy of Mario Kart. No problem. You can just I mean, it's slow, but you could like wirelessly like you can just have only one copy of Mario Kart 7, and you can have like 7 people join in. Slow download speed, but it works.
So that brings my next question to everyone here. There are 3 games that we would care about. No one here, I'm guessing no one here gives a crap about Wii Party. Just a hunch. So does that mean Nick, if you were to commit to this Wii U bundle, what are you going to get as your freebie? Zelda Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3, or Mario U?
Probably Mario U.
Anthony?
I think I'll go with Pikmin.
I'm probably going to go Mario U myself. I liked Pikmin when I rented it, but Anthony knows my immense love of Mario games.
Yeah, see, for me, I don't know much about Pikmin. I mean, the last time I played Pikmin was like on like my uncle's GameCube, like 12 years ago. It was a long time ago.
So, I'm going to be honest. I played Mario U, and since playing Mario U, I've played Donkey Kong Country Returns, not Returns, Tropical Freeze, and Rayman Legends, and both of those games just shit all over Mario U. They are way better 2D platformers. They're 1,000 times better. Both those games are fantastic. Oh, man. In fact, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is my favorite game of the year so far. I actually even like it more than Infamous. I mean, it is just like everything about it is perfect. It's just what I like about it is every level is really different from the last, and they all have, and you have to master this mechanic, and if you don't master it, you can't beat it. So it's challenging, but because the checkpoints are really fast, it loads really fast. Very similar to Super Meat Boy. It's like, oh fuck, I can do that better, and I know how to do it better. This is how. Like that. It's just super addictive, and if you have a Wii U, you should get Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It's a great game. And then Rayman Legends is super easy, but they do platforming in a really interesting way. So it's really fast paced. So it's like it has the tension of what's the way I'd best describe it? Like, you know those levels in Uncharted where you have to like run away from shit?
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those, but in a 2D platformer. It just creates these really great tense moments. So yeah. Anyway.
Cool, but it's going back to the original topic just really quick. I can't say it enough. Destiny is the game that it just looks. I watched the gameplay video and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be that game that like I have to find free time for because this game looks so freaking good.
See, the thing that I'm a little concerned about is like it kind of looks like my problem. The problem is that I always have had a problem with shooters. It's just that they're not my kind of game, and it's hard for me to get excited about any shooter. Like, there are only two shooters I've ever really liked, and that's Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Halo Reach. So, and there's like so many good shooters out there. Gears of War 3 is good. I like Modern Warfare 2. I thought that was good. So many shooters out there that I like. Maybe even Half-Life 2 if I could somehow not get stuck in it a lot. But for me, it was always a case of I highly respect shooters, but I don't like them.
But hey, man, this one, like,
and
you like Reach.
I watched Destiny, and yes, I know it's made by mostly the same people who work behind Reach, but I look at that video and I'm just like, ooh, that looks kind of cool. But it wasn't like, oh man, I gotta go buy a PlayStation 4 for this. It's gonna be more like a case of, oh, I have to buy a PlayStation 4 because I want to play with my friends, more than I want to buy a PlayStation 4 because Destiny looks freaking awesome.
So,
which is kind of weird because I know I put Destiny as number one for my most anticipated games, but I probably wrote that more out of respect for Bungie than because I actually really wanted to play Destiny.
So it's really funny that you say that about the friends thing, because Aaron and I are writing blogs to go along with the comic we're writing. Basically, that's what they are. And I wrote how, like, outside of Nick, I'm in this isolation chamber, and I want you guys to get these fucking systems so I have people to play with every night. So, and also have conversations about
Look,
these.
let me put it this way. If Sony, like, the PlayStation 4 is like $400 right now. If they somehow come out with a $400 PlayStation 4 bundle with Destiny in it, yeah, I would actually really think about that. I would really think about that.
Okay, all right. I'm already doing. So, I know I'm only gonna get you on one of these because I'm only gonna pay for one. But if I buy Destiny for you, would you buy a PS4?
Maybe. The problem is that I thought about it. If I bought a PlayStation 4 today, right now, what would I be using it for? Well, I would play Infamous, but I'm not exactly the biggest Infamous fan. I'm not a person who streams games. I don't play shooters, so Killzone's kind of out of it. I don't know anything about Resogun's like that, really cool. You go around the cylinder shooting things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Resogun, I don't know if that's my kind of game. That looks like something I would like for like 30 minutes and then just stop.
All right.
So,
between
now and when Destiny comes out, what else is on the PlayStation 4? I don't know.
All right. Hey, Nick. I think I know a way that you and I can get Anthony to commit to a PS4. Nick?
Shoot it at me.
All right. Nick pays for a year plus. I pay for Destiny.
That is still $400. I still need to look. Last year I spent. What was it?
Come on,
if you count the shipping and
that's a pretty sweet deal. And I'll cover shipping on the deal too.
Look. That's still like I still have to like cover. That's still I need to pay $400 for that. Look, the thing is that Last year, I just spent, I think if you count the shipping that I paid for it, I think I spent like $330 on a Wii U. Okay, so I'm kind of like I'm saving money for this year. Now in 2015, I think that's the year I will definitely buy a PlayStation 4. But for 2014, no. I'm sorry, no.
I will say this. Last year, buying a Wii U didn't fully register to me because that's when the iPhone launched. So I was basically living under my desk at AT&T, which sucked, but it also meant I had a
Hey,
lot
you
of
went through
money.
the whole trouble of convincing me. Okay, look, I know, like, this is how it turned out. It was like, I don't care about the Wii U. And then, of course, they're like, Zelda bundle with
No, that's
Zelda
what
Wind
got me
Waker.
too. That's what got
And
me
it was
also.
like, and, you slowly convinced me to buy one. I'm just like, crap. And then I bought a Wii U because at that time I thought, gee, the value seems pretty good because if I don't buy this bundle, that means it'll cost me more in the long run. If I have to buy a Wii U and Zelda separately, it'll cost more. That's what ultimately pushed me over. So that's kind of why if they bundled Destiny into a PlayStation 4 and said $400 comes with Destiny, I'll be like,
okay.
ooh, I'll really think about it because that saves me some money.
Okay, but this saves you money too. That it saves you more money because we're throwing in the year of plus. It is, you're getting Destiny and the year of plus. If Nick is willing to go with it,
yeah, but you see, a $300 pill is a little easier to swallow than a $400 pill.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, here's the thing, okay? As much as I would like to get a PlayStation 4, I'm not really financially ready to do that yet.
All right.
Even if I work over the summer, yeah, still. Look, this is just kind of... Look, the thing that's ultimately stopping me is finances, okay? So it's like, I'm not really ready to just go in knee-deep into this.
All right, well...
I mean, it was already hard enough for me to, like, spend over $300 just to get a Wii U.
Yeah, and... once again, the Wii U purchase, like I said, I was doing so much overtime at the time, like, buying the Wii U just made it so, I have a slightly bigger check this week, like, instead of like, I have a massive check this week, it was like, all that overtime went to the Wii U. Okay, cool. That's pretty much what it translated into. But I definitely get what you're saying though. That said,
so now you know why I will not, or at least I will try not to buy a PlayStation 4.
Okay, so
like 2015 definitely looks like the year I will definitely get one.
Dude, Metal Gear Phantom Pain. That's all that you need, right? Like, is that enough? Is that enough, Anthony?
Well, when does it come out this year?
It's supposed to come out like December of this year or Q1 of next year.
But if it's Q1 next year, I hope it's that case because there's a lot of stuff already on my backlog of things to buy before the PS4. Like, I gotta think about some computer upgrades right now, okay?
Yeah, I'm like...
and more like necessity. Like, this isn't like, ooh, I'm gonna dump some money on a new graphics card. No, this is mainly, I need to upgrade the hard drives on my computer. Like, they're running out of space.
I'm in a weird place when it comes to hardware. None of my future hardware upgrades are gonna be super fancy. Like, I need to get a new router. I need to invest in like a new router, some better power strips, some better extension cords. The only fancy purchase I see myself making and it's like 2 years from now, it's a better TV. Like, that's it.
TV.
Sports.
Man, do I really want to say it for Nick right now?
And hey, Nick, sports, TV sports.
TV sports.
Yeah, it never gets old.
Doesn't. Never does.
Maybe we can do something like that if we ever go to E3.
All right, well, what this does tell me, though, that you are committed to Warlords of Draenor with me.
Well, I'm committed because you're buying it for me.
Yeah, I know. I would hope.
And let's be honest here. Like, to me, that's like no big deal because I was like, oh, well, someone buys me Warlords of Draenor. No big deal because heck, I already have the computer. Heck, I've got multiple computers that can play World of Warcraft because that's literally a toaster game.
Okay, Anthony. Let's say I go really crazy and go back to AT&T. Because I really don't want to leave my current job. I actually really like it, and the hours are great. But let's say I go back to AT&T. What if I buy you a PS4?
If you buy me a PS4, well, duh, of course I'm gonna really like that.
Who would say no to that?
Like, honestly, it's like, hell yeah, I would take a free PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I'm gonna be honest. I think your Christmas gift this year is probably not gonna be a PS4.
Well, yeah, I know that. I mean, to be honest, that's overkill. Honestly, what's going to happen at that point is that I'm going to get very suspicious because I'm going to think you're guilting me by buying me a PlayStation 4, and then I owe you like $350 of gifts for the next 3 years.
No, see, the gift
it's like a loan. It's just like, here, I'm going to buy you a PlayStation 4. I'm Sir Tom Nook Fury. I'm going to give you a PlayStation 4, and now you're going to spend the next 3 years of your life giving me, working and giving me stuff, okay?
No, honestly, if I got you a PlayStation 4, the only thing that I would expect is you buy a couple of multiplayer games to play with me. That's it.
I would go.
I'd be like, you better buy Destiny. You better.
Yeah, like freaking just Bronson's like the Raccoon Mafia now or something.
I am Italian, so Oh man,
that literally is a Tom Nook situation that you're getting me into.
Yeah, I realize that. Have you guys been getting those, speaking of Smash Brothers, though, I followed this new Twitter account called Smash Brothers Parody. You guys have been getting all those pictures I've been sending you, right? Of, Heisenberg comes knocking, Stephen Hawking steps up.
My favorite one's the Heisenberg, but that's because I'm watching Breaking Bad right now.
Oh, yeah, Heisenberg comes up.
I just finished season 3, by the way.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is Hank Hill brings the propane. I also really like Iwata directs the battle. That one's pretty good. I also enjoyed Greninja makes a splash. Water attacks powered by Mewtwo's tears. Oh man, I've been enjoying that. Oh, final thing from Smash, as long as we're talking about Nintendo stuff. I love how they showed the For Fun and For Glory as the SpongeBob places. Super Weenie Hut Jr., the Salty Spittoon. Does anybody remember that episode of SpongeBob where he's trying to get into Salty Spittoon?
No.
No one remembers. Oh my God.
Well, I probably remember it. I just need a very good visual indicator.
I will give you the most famous quote from that episode. I ate a bowl of nails for breakfast. So, without any milk.
I think I remember that one.
Okay.
Like I said, names probably not the best at remembering names. If I can see a picture or a short video clip of it, that would definitely be true. Like, for example, the one time you talked about Martin the Martian. Where is the kaboom? And I know I saw that somewhere, and then I went on YouTube and YouTube searched Martin the Martian kaboom. Found the scene, and I'm like, I remember watching that when I was little. It was pretty cool.
Oh my God! So Nick, what? Anthony and I went on a tangent. What are you doing?
I'm just listening in.
I mean,
let's move along though. So we talked about Destiny. Now, a game that was originally supposed to be a launch title for PlayStation 4. We really haven't heard anything about it until recently. Is Drive Club? So Drive Club,
Anthony, driving sim. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Are you sure it's a driving sim? Because I find that a bit hard to believe after watching the video.
They said it's a driving sim.
We'll get in that. So they released a new trailer. So the game that was supposed to launch on the PlayStation 4 day one is actually launching October 7th. That's the official release date, which is almost a year after its initial release date. However, I will say that I want to applaud Evolution Studios and Sony on this because the game looks amazing visually. I mean, I played at E3 last year and I was disappointed. Did it look good? Yeah, it looked all right, but it wasn't that impressive for a next generation title. It didn't control very well, but Sony and Evolution Studios were like, the game's not ready. Let's delay it. So they've delayed it about a year, and we really haven't seen anything, but the visuals are It's very solid. I mean, it's all captured by PlayStation 4 using like debug cameras and such. We haven't. I want to see it and actually play it for myself, which I'm sure it will be playable at E3. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention, Destiny will be playable at E3, so I cannot wait for that. But going back to Drive Club, Drive Club looks outstanding. Looks outstanding. They said they've fixed the controls. They've done so much, and I mean, an extra year's worth of time. I just want to really applaud Sony and Evolution Studios for not just throwing this game out there day one and it being a crappy racing game. I really truly believe. Is this going to be the next Forza or next Gran Turismo? Probably not, but I could see this becoming a franchise. I mean, this is Evolution Studios. They're the company that made MotorStorm. Now, as much as I would love to see MotorStorm, MotorStorm on the PlayStation 4 would look unbelievable. Maybe they can make it look like the trailer that was supposed to look like on PlayStation 3. That'd be nice. But Drive Club looks great. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of these types of games. I'm not a fan of Need for Speed, but I love Forza. With Drive Club, it's not going to be like a Gran Turismo. However, they have said it's not going to be an arcade racer either. They said those people used to play in the arcade racers like Need for Speed will have to get used to using their brakes, because Need for Speed you don't have to use your brakes. So
and this game has some of the Project Gotham team working on it, so maybe we'll get some of that magic.
Right, so
Well,
I was
did you watch
feeling
that
this is
video?
going to be
It
kind
has,
of be
like,
like a
drift
Project
challenges.
Gotham / Forza type racing style.
Oh god, I love. So Project Gotham 4 is like my favorite racing game ever. So if this plays like Project Gotham, all I'm going to be talking about at the end of the year is "Shut Up, Drive Club is amazing. Fuck you, people." Yeah, like
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty
love-
tough because Infamous and Donkey Kong happened.
Yeah, and we also got Bayonetta coming, and Heroes of the Storm. The thing is, Heroes of the Storm plays to my Blizzard fanboy bias, so that game has a distinct advantage, and Bayonetta 2 has an advantage because it plays to my love of blatant, loud, dumb, obnoxious things. So, who knows? It shall be an interesting battle for my heart this year. Have fun, game developers. This comes out October 8th, right? That's what you said?
October 7th.
October 7th. That is my grandfather's birthday, and a week before my birthday. But the game that's supposedly is what is set as the release date for Batman is October 14th. And if that is the case, if Batman comes out on my birthday, I'm gonna be so stoked. I'm gonna spend my entire birthday playing Batman. That would be amazing. Oh god. Oh man. The last time I had a birthday where a game release was Uncharted 2, which that was also awesome. Have you guys had any like really awesome games come out on your birthday and you just spend the majority of your birthday like playing that? Anyone?
Not
Well,
that I
my
can remember.
birthday's in June, so typically not.
Well, no, like Last of Us came out in June, so did Infamous.
Yeah, that's true. My birthday's usually like the week after E3, which is pretty cool.
Yours is June like 18th?
19th.
Oh, it's close. Damn. Okay, so yeah, that's like the week after E3. That like I know Last of Us came out June 14th last year, so that was pretty close. Anthony, yours is like mid-February, right? Anthony?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Not
it's
much
like
really happens, but it's kind of like that weird Japanese release date kind of thing.
Hey, Danganronpa came out this year.
Fire Emblem came out about that time last year. Final Fantasy happened, or 13-3, which apparently it's like a Japanese thing on that day, that month. I mean,
Speaking of Japanese things, it's Golden Week. Happy Golden Week, guys. So cheers to that. And there's a Golden
is
Week
this something
sale.
I'm going to learn about in Persona?
Yep, you're gonna learn about in Persona. That's an
Okay.
actual Japanese holiday. When I was working at Circus, I actually met some tourists from Japan celebrating Golden Week. They were surprised I knew what it was. Oh god.
But yeah, back to Drive Club. I'm really looking forward to it. Was looking forward to it. I played E3. I'm like, maybe I'll just rent it. I'll play the PlayStation Plus edition, which, by the way, they are keeping. The PlayStation Plus edition will be releasing, and they actually detailed it. They said that the PlayStation Plus edition, let's see here, it's not a demo, but it'll only have 10 cars, and you can only race in one country, which gives you access to 5 tracks with 11 distinct variants. So this is going to be the edition of the game that's free, which I think is great. I think it's going to be good because if the game is really that good, it's like an extended demo. So a lot of people who own a PlayStation 4 have PlayStation Plus, they're going to download it, and they're like, wow, this is really good. And then they're going to go buy the game. So I think it's a great tactic to get people to actually play the game, and if they like it, buy it.
Like, for me, I know I'm probably not going to buy Drive Club because, like, around that same time, Batman and Destiny are supposed to come out, and possibly Bayonetta and Smash, and there's only so much my wallet can handle. But it's definitely going to be a rental for me. I'm going to check out that Plus version for sure. Oh, man. And goddamn, I just turned on my PS4 to update it, and I just remembered, goddamn, I have to switch to HDMI cable for my PS3. Why is the PS3 still a better media player than the PS4? The fuck. Ugh. You want to know? There's one update that Sony still hasn't put out for the PS4 that I want, though. I want them to make the PS3 Blu-ray remote compatible with the PS4. It is like the perfect Blu-ray remote. Why is it not compatible? It's Bluetooth. I should just be able to use it, goddammit. Tangent over. Hello?
I agree.
Okay. Hate. Oh, man.
But moving along, the last news story I have is Sony has announced. I mean, not yet. Sony. Well, actually, sorry, Anthony. Yeah, let's get your thoughts on Drive Club. You're obviously a racing enthusiast. What are your thoughts?
I'm not really sure if it's a racing sim. It kind of looks a bit arcadey, but
But hey, man, you remember Project Gotham, right? How great was that?
Project Gotham is pretty darn awesome. I really like Project Gotham 4. And the fact that I found it for like $3 in the bargain bin was like even more amazing. I did play Project Gotham 4 like maybe like last month, I think. Still feels surprisingly modern. Which is
that game is, oh my god, I like that game. I picked it up the same weekend as the Orange Box, and I played it way more than the Orange Box. Even
though the Orange Box had like Half-Life 2, Portal, Team Fortress 2.
By that time, I had already played Half-Life 2 in its first expansion because I was a PC gamer. And Portal I beat the week I got it because it's like 2 hours long, and everyone wouldn't shut up about it. Like, that was one of those games where, like, okay, I have to see... Like, you know those games that you play because everyone won't shut up about it?
Yeah.
It was one of those, and god damn it, it deserved every bit of praise it got. But still, that's why I took that. And Team Fortress would get popular with me later. I know that I played a lot of it because I have almost all the multiplayer achievements for that game. And then Half-Life 2 Episode 2, I would end up playing later and enjoying quite a bit, but not in the same way I enjoyed Project Gotham. Yeah, I don't know, Anthony. Drive Club, do you think that will be one of the PS4 games you end up getting when you eventually get one?
It's not Gran Turismo. That's like the thing, because you'll be amazed. Like, I say, oh, Gran Turismo is ultimately amazing physics. Looks great, but as a game, it's not really too great. And then I go out and buy Gran Turismo again. I bought a PlayStation 3 because of Gran Turismo. I guess you could say that I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to high quality racing sims. Like Forza 5, like right now, if I had to choose between an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, I would lean slightly towards the Xbox One, mainly because of Forza 5 and almost nothing else. Like that's
Yeah,
how
but think of it this way.
I'm a bit of a sucker for racing sims. And
If you did
Drive
get an
Club-
Xbox One, though, you would be able to get really good at Killer Instinct with me.
I could, but I'm not really a traditional fighting game guy.
Dude,
But
you
never know. That could change.
When we tried to teach you Street Fighter, you were picking it up real quick.
Which was
Well-
quite surprising, because in my experience, traditional fighters, I just suck at it. Like Killer Instinct Gold in the N64, I sucked at that really bad.
Everyone's bad at that game.
And it had terrible tutorials. Then there was Soul Calibur 2, which, well, wasn't very good. Which wasn't a very good assessment, if I'm honest, because the only character I played was Link, and let's be honest, that was kind of cheating.
Look, if you want to win with Link in this game, this is how you do it. Why?
Look, I already figured that part out.
Why?
Okay, that's why I couldn't really say if I was good or not at it. And then there was Dead or Alive 4, which had terrible tutorials, and I had no idea how to counter anything. So
yeah, I was about to say that's like the worst possible game in the history of ever to start out. Is like, I want to learn fighting games. Let's start with Dead or Alive.
yeah, that was a terrible idea. So basically, the only fighting game I ever really clicked with was Smash Brothers, and that's really a party game. So it's like,
I thought we were talking. Damn it! I missed my opportunity for the joke. Damn it!
I just stabbed it to death, didn't I?
I was about to say I thought we were talking about fighting games. But anyway.
Commence butthurt.
Commence. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Let's see. Yep. Oh man, I just turned off HDCP on my PS4. And it felt good. Alright, so what's next? Do you want to keep talking about Drive Club?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about it a little bit more. You know, Brownson, that noise from your TV is pretty loud.
I did not realize this. Hold on now. One moment, please.
It's just like all that ambient flowing beauty sound on the background of PlayStation 4.
Yep. So beautiful. So high art.
It's like high art. Yeah, it's just I don't even know if I actually like it or not. I understand that you need to make your menus more interesting and not boring if you leave it on idle for 6 hours, but I don't know.
It's kind of weird to me that they still don't let you change the color or the background at all. Like Xbox One, at least it lets you change color. I didn't, because green is actually my favorite color.
Yeah, so for me, I would have like a dark blue. But let's see, for Drive Club, really don't know. I watched that trailer and it's like, it looks kind of fun. It's a driving. They say it's a driving sim, okay, but it kind of looked a little arcadey. It was kind of like, it's a bit Forza-ish, I would say. Like Gran Turismo, you can kind of tell from their trailers that it's about, it's about professionalism and capturing the art of cars and making sure the physics is as perfect as possible, and tack for that. And Forza is kind of like more like, simulation is very important, but we're going to focus more on the kind of the eye candy stuff that, like sound and stuff like that. And Drive Club seems to be a bit more in the Forza direction than the Gran Turismo direction, which I really don't know how to feel about that.
Alright.
Because when it comes to console racing, there's only two. There's Forza and there's Gran Turismo. So, Drive Club is, I don't know. I will say, though, from the trailer, though, that, like, freaking Drive Club, when they did that entire scenery pan shot with all those low clouds and stuff like that, I'm like, is that real? Like, actual in-game rendered low clouds flying by. Because if it is, whoa. And, of course, the cars look amazing, but we already know that because Forza 5 has shown us that cars can look amazing now. Even more amazing than before. So, that's what I think about Drive Club. Is it going to make me buy a PlayStation 4? I don't know, because this isn't a Forza or a Gran Turismo. Well, so I don't know if it's going to be, like, have that same kind of fully fledged feel. Like, I'm not really asking for 500 cars out of Drive Club. I'm just asking, like, it captures, like, the thrill of driving a car fast. I mean, I'm a bit of a sucker for Driver San Francisco now because of, it kind of does that, so...
It might do that, and then that combined with Batman and Destiny, I mean, that'd be a pretty, and Infamous. I mean, that'd be a pretty good. That wouldn't be a bad first month of having a console. I'm just saying. I don't know. I know what you're talking about though, because I had the same feelings about the PS3, and then being when it was $400, and then Metal Gear came out, and I was just like, shut up and have all my money. You have it all. Let me play Metal Gear. But that's kind of how, like, it's kind of sad to say, but, like, consoles are kind of at that point to where, like, if it weren't for the exclusives, like, why own one? Like it used to be the convenience, right? But like,
I think that's still kind of the case, though.
Like, but like PC.
Like, you think about it, we always argue, like, we always argue that, oh, building a PC is ever easier than ever. It's like Legos, which I can agree with, but here's the thing. Gotta install new Windows. Gotta install new drivers. Gotta make sure I'm not gonna catch any viruses going on the internet with this thing. It's still kind of like that, whereas with a console, it's still a case of you just take it out of the box, plug in a couple cables, and bam, you're done. Okay. And look, I understand that there's going to be like some people that's going to argue, oh, well, PC is so easy, you plug in some cables and you're ready to go, bam, done, see? I'm just like, yeah, that's true, but the PC, because it... Oh yeah, sure, because PC is great and all, but because you have like so many more knobs and controls on that thing, it's kind of a bit more daunting. Which is great if you know what you're doing, but it's like, do I want a what's an analogy? Do I want a car where I have to flip like 5 different switches and then control some knobs to fine tune the fuel mixture and the brake balance and the transmission modes? Do I want to fiddle with all of that just so I can drive a car, or do I just want to get into a car, start it, and go? Like, a console is kind of like you just get in a car, start it, and go. Is it what's the word? Is it geeky enough that, you know, you feel like you're connected to the machine? Probably not, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people kind of feel like, I just want something that just turns on every single day, don't have to worry about it, just turns on and goes. And, you know, simplicity. And I still think that's the case. Yes, PCs are easier than ever, and yes, installing an operating system into a computer isn't like the old days where you had to go through DOS prompts.
Also, I'm going to be honest, consoles are more of a pain in the ass than ever.
That is true, because they have basically tried to be like, I feel like I guess they're like trying to do the Apple approach, where Apple had turned the basic cell phone, where you just press a bunch of numbers and it's a portable phone, basically. Easy, simple, very easy to use. And turned it into the smartphone, where it's basically a mini computer, to the point where where like 90% of the time that you're using it isn't really to call people. It's because you need to go on the internet or listen to your music or download apps or play games on it. Like, that's what people do on their phones nowadays. They don't really use it to talk to people. It's kind of like, it's a mini computer that can make phone calls instead of a phone that can do computer things.
The thing is, though, is like Apple had a really smart, elegant interface that wasn't like obnoxious or retarded.
And for a long time that was the case, yeah, but and with consoles, I think they were trying to do the same thing, because it's like, rather than having a dedicated game console and a mini PC sitting by your TV, because there are some people that actually build little mini computers that they can just plug to their TVs, kind of thing. Some do that. Instead, why won't you just have a single box that does everything for you? And that's what these consoles are kind of do. These are media systems now. It's just that it's kind of getting a little blurry whether they are game systems that can do media features or whether they're media systems that can play games. That's where... Okay, where's the emphasis on that? And yeah, game consoles are more annoying than ever, because they come with so much stuff now that it's like, where's the focus? Kind of thing. But it's still a system that can take out of the box and use. It's a system that doesn't catch viruses, as far as I know. With a PC, you still have to worry about that. Oh man, I accidentally clicked on a bad link on the internet. Oh shit, now I have to erase my entire computer and salvage the hard drive before this virus wipes everything. Or spams me with more stuff.
I am talking about our demographic, like the hardcore gamers. Like, I'm not going to speak to the, like, more casual...
Okay, the hardcore gamer. Okay, right. So what is the average technological proficiency of the hardcore gamer?
Well, as far as I know, it's pretty good.
I am tempted to say... maybe if they took some time to sit down and read a guide on how to build a computer and how to be careful on the internet and not screw up the computer, and what brand of like if they sit down and spend about 3 or 4 hours planning their next system, they might be able to do it. But even then, it's like I know a lot of gamers who just aren't like that. They're hardcore because they spend a lot of time playing games, not because they spend a lot of time looking at spec sheets of computers that they are thinking of building in the future.
Well, the thing
they just want to sit down and play.
So, what would you call Aaron? Because Aaron primarily plays on PC. Like, that's his primary platform. He's currently, he's getting a PS4 first because of exclusives. Because Destiny's console exclusive, so is Infamous. And so, he's kind of SOL on that front. But he's currently in the process of saving for another one of his Asus laptops. So cannot wait to see him traveling with a 17-inch laptop again. It's gonna be hilarious. But and Aaron was it wasn't his fault that thing's fan fucked up.
That's another concern too, reliability.
Yeah, but reliability of consoles is also
reliability. Look, this kind of goes back to technological proficiency. Aaron bought that laptop, yes, but was it? Man, how do I say this? Maybe that isn't the best. Yeah, that's not really the best analogy, really. I mean, when you have a broken game console, what do? Well, worst case, you send it in for a warranty repair. That's about it. Put it in the box, send it away. Can't really play games for a little while, but no biggie. They sends it back to you, plug it in, done. See, easy, or at least relatively easy. With the computer, what do you do with it? Well, if you're not, you probably have to find a friend who's willing to fix it for you for cheap. Because let's be honest here, you wouldn't want to take the thing to Geek Squad. And if you have a warranty on the PC, that's great. You can send it and they'll fix it and give it back to you. Or maybe it's outside of warranty and actually, that's probably a good thing for PC right there, is that if you have a desktop machine and something's broken, you can change a single part, whereas with a game console, you have to buy an entire new system.
Yeah.
And risk losing everything. So I guess that's one advantage PC has right there, is that say, oh, I've got a broken fan. No biggie, I'll just swap the part out. Whereas with the game consoles, well, you could probably find some parts on eBay, but chances are you're probably going to have to buy a new system. Most people usually do. Because a lot of people don't exactly have the expertise to tear things apart like that, so. Basically, the thing is that even if you're a hardcore gamer, I've kind of seen a lot of people who play a lot of video games that don't know all the parts inside a computer.
But you don't need to. Here's the thing, though. We're at the point where it's not super hard to learn. It's not I had my refresher at Moondog.
Can I sit down with my best friend and tell him, change that fan? He would have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, but you could show him and do show
great,
really
and that
quickly.
Is work that they have to commit to, because that's just okay, time for you to learn how to do this, and they're just I just want to sit down and play. I don't want to sit down and learn. Why aren't you fixing your own plumbing? I mean, I could learn how to fix my own plumbing, but I don't.
I fix a lot of my own plumbing.
Well, I don't, because I don't know how. Oh, you could sit down with a house book and do it. I'm like, well, what if I screw up?
Well,
I'm not a trained professional plumber. Do I trust myself to fix? That's another problem there too, right there. Is do you trust yourself to do something? When I built my first computer 3 years ago, the thing beeped at me the first time I turned it on, and it gave me a heart attack because I thought I broke something. Building my first ever computer, and I had just spent $800 in parts. Okay. Good news, I just put the memory in a bit wrong. But do you really want that kind of fear? Now, what if you are the kind of person that says, oh, I just want to buy an Alienware instead of building my own? Great, that's another good alternative. But okay, great. Now, what if the thing breaks outside of warranty? Well, that's then, $800 or $1,000 right there.
Then you come to ACI Moondogs, and we fix it for a significantly cheaper fee.
Great. What happens if you don't live near that kind of shop and end up having to pay really high prices? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of technologically illiterate people, and computer repair shops are kind of priced according to that.
Oh yeah, no, the majority of computer repair shops are kind of assholes. Like I'm not, like we're great. Like I find our prices to be completely fair, but I could definitely see how Geek Squad for example rapes people. Like that is rape. What that is. But the thing is though is like it's not that hard. Like yeah, you say oh it's I know a lot of hardcore gamers, like a lot of them, and the thing is like a lot of them are cool with learning that stuff because they want the best possible experience, and the best possible experience right now is on PC. And like the best
Great.
right
Here's
now.
the thing. I also know a lot of people in my demographic who probably wouldn't want to sit down and go through how to build a computer.
Okay, well.
Yeah, you know a lot of people that would. I know a lot of people that don't. It's just kind of like one of those, yes, building a PC is easy, yes. To me and you, it seems easy. But does it to them? That's the thing, because I can't, like, for example, can I really, like, honestly, if I went up to, say, my dad, who has, fixed cars and knows how to do minor house repairs, like, he knows how to fix things, some things. Okay, like he's probably the kind of guy that probably wouldn't have too much difficulty learning how to build a computer, right? Can I go up to him and tell him, hey, I want to teach you how to build a computer? And he'd be like, no.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about, that's not the demographic I'm talking about. I'm talking about the demographic.
Our demographic is also very diverse. You just simply you basically described it as hardcore gamer. Well, guess what? Hardcore gamers come in many different levels of technical expertise. Okay,
well, the majority...
I mean, it's like, the majority of people I know who want to build PCs. Well, great. The majority of people I know don't want to. In fact, they don't want to put in that kind of effort. They just want something they want to plug in and just start gaming right away. They're not going to, sit down and tweak drivers all day with overclocking settings to figure out how things work.
Yeah, but, it's not, drivers are all, especially on NVIDIA, I don't fucking bother dealing with, in installing drivers anymore. I just let fucking the GeForce experience do it. Hell, I almost, if it, I even let it run the settings for my game. GeForce experience fucking just makes it super easy to handle all that shit now. Steam has taken away a lot of, it's getting to the point where the hardest part of fucking with a PC is the process of actually building one and maintaining it. And even that's not super difficult.
Look, I've said it before. To you and me, it's not difficult. Because, for me, it's flat out not difficult. Heck, I disassembled a little bit of my PlayStation 3. Okay? Freaking bought some tools, opened up the front case, dusted the fans off, observed how nice Sony... observed the quality of the parts that they put into the first gen Slim. Stuff like that. Okay, to me, totally easy because I've done it many, many times, and I've built computers and taken out apart computers and replaced parts in computers. Easy. For me, done it before. It's like a car mechanic kind of thing. Okay, and for a car mechanic, they could easily say, oh, well, changing your oil is very easy. Do people actually do it? No.
Yes.
They actually a lot of them don't, actually.
Okay.
People like me. I'm a car enthusiast. I like cars. I like driving cars, and heck, one day I would be crazy enough to drive on a racetrack of cars. Have I bothered to sit down and learn how to change oil? It's not that hard. Yeah, I probably learned, but I don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to fuck something up, and next thing you know, I've got oil spilling all over the road.
So,
I'm an enthusiast, but I didn't bother learning to fix my own car yet.
Here's the thing, though. So, it's easy
and you save lots of money by fixing your own car if you know how.
That is very true.
Yeah, you actually do save a lot of heck. And one of these days I'm gonna sit down and buy a auto repair manual and learn how to fix my own car because it's freaking if you know how to do things at home, you just save yourself a huge amount of money. Tangent here. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Tangent, and then this happened to me maybe a year or two ago. Okay, so my dad and I helped out change the drive belt on my engine. The belt itself was only $20 or $30. It's just a rubber belt, and it powers the alternator and the water pump and the air conditioning and that kind of stuff, right? So basically, my dad just jacked up the car, moved a couple of things, changed the belt, $35. I also remember, but the thing is that a couple months earlier, when my car was in the shop for a flat tire repair, they were like, "We can change the belt for you for $150." Yeah. $30 belt, $150 shop repair bill. Wow. Anyways, that's a tangent. But anyways, like for a computer, I guess like for people, I think the barrier here is that computers are so complicated. It's like only professionals can figure it out. It's not really that case because let's be honest, it's like Legos. You just basically need to be a little bit careful because it is fragile.
I mean, I was about to say, like, motherfucker,
But it's hard. But it's hard to change the perception. It's hard to change the perception, like because to people, computers are so complicated because they do so much that only a professional can figure this stuff out. It's like me trying to explain to you computer code. Like I could try and sit down and explain to you computer code, but it's so utterly complicated to you that you're just be like, "What the hell? I just want a program that works," instead of like writing my own stuff. Like, computers seem so complicated because they can do so many things when really it's just a bunch of components that you just stick together. And and now that we live in an age where a lot of things are standardized, it's not really that hard to. I mean, you probably have to like sit. This is like another technological barrier. Is that if you build your own computer, okay, do you want a Z77, H77, or what Q77 chipset? What socket does it run? Gotta remember the 1155, 1156 are different. And guess what? The 1155 is newer than the 1156.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do.
And you could go Google this stuff, but
tell me all of this. Go to tested.com. How to build a PC. They have different price brackets, complete builds, follow their instructions, complete walkthrough videos. Like it's getting to the point where like the resources are out there also. Like, yeah, I'll agree with you on the perception, which is why I'm trying to change it. But like it's getting to the point where, I mean, I've been working at Moondog for good, almost 2 months now, and like I sit there, I'm like, man, I'm getting that itch. You have that itch to build. I'm just kind of like, man, I'm definitely not gonna do it until this Alienware I have like starts to show its age. But like, I was working on that really high end rig that I'm writing a review of right now, and like the hardest part was cable management.
I'm gonna be honest. If you have like a tiny little case like I do, cable management's a pain in the ass. But anyways, look, the point I'm trying to get across is like to you and me, building a computer is easy. To a lot of other people, they probably can't even tell you what the acronym GPU means.
The thing is,
they just know the GPU stuff that makes a image show up on your screen. Okay, that's like to them, that's probably the most they know about GPUs. If I told them, okay, so you're gonna need a graphics card, you're gonna need a CPU, a GPU, some RAM. Like, that's the other problem, too. You have to catch them up on all this jargon, because to a lot of people, RAM is a number on a spec sheet that somehow says more is better. So it's...
So here's one thing.
It's like a number. It's like valves on a car. It's like, oh, I've got 4 valves per cylinder. Ooh, that more is better, right? It's just, you got to catch them up on their jargon. Like I said, some people know this stuff, which is great, because that means you can catch them more easily. And then they're like, but then of course I also know best friends who don't even know what I'm talking about when I told them that that you need a 64-bit processor to have more than 4 gigs of RAM. Do you think most people can understand that sentence? To me, easy. Do you? Easy. Most people, no.
No, but like, I think about my Alienware, right? And I think that
actually, this is like the thing. You're like, this is like a case of where some people literally think that a quad core is simply better than a dual core, which you and I both know it depends. Anyways, it's just computers are so complicated that it's really hard. It's hard for me to imagine that any hardcore, like just a simple mere person that simply fits under the hardcore umbrella can just simply sit down and build a computer or maintain a computer or just simply use a computer.
Okay, so I look at a
use it as in like in a advanced manner, like maintaining drivers and stuff.
So I look at my Alienware though, right? And my Alienware, I didn't build it. I haven't even taken it apart yet to do anything with it yet. I pretty much just went and I installed Steam and I installed all my games, and outside of one bug with Dota 2, I've just been install, play, install, play. You know, I let GeForce Experience handle all my driver bullshit.
Okay, so when Dota did crash, what did you have to go through all that trouble to figure out? Why it crashed? That's another concern I have right there. Because computers are... Because let's be honest here. When you buy a game for a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or Wii U, you stick the disc in, it's guaranteed to work.
No, it's not. I have a story about Dead Rising for you. But that...
Okay, 99% of the time? Just about almost every
Dead
single
Rising
conceivable
has
game
the
on the...
stupidest RAM glitch ever. It's so dumb. Did I tell you about this?
No, you didn't.
Oh my god, it's the most retarded thing. So, if you turn the console off while that game is in standby mode, that game is still using the RAM for whatever reason. And
wait, when you kill the game, it still uses the RAM?
Or something similar to that. Like, it's like, even when you, so when you go to boot it back up, it won't fucking load, like, at all. And you have to reinstall it, so it quits, fucking up its use of resources on the system. It's really weird, and they still haven't patched it.
That sounds like a pretty serious programming problem right there.
Yeah.
Look. But anyways, the point is that when you buy a game for a system, it's guaranteed to work, right? Say, I bought a new game. Sweet. I put the game in, and all of a sudden I see a bunch of artifacts on the screen. Why is that? Now, you would say, oh, go on Google and fix it. Well, you go on Google, and then they say, oh, download these files, copy it to this directory, copy it to that directory. Or they say, oh, go to this unquestionable website and download an unofficial patch by these people. Would you trust that patch? What if it's a virus?
Okay, so...
Like, what happens when Titanfall doesn't run on the correct video card and you have to spend the next 6 hours figuring out that Titanfall doesn't recognize NVIDIA mobile chips?
Okay, yeah, that was the case.
That is a rare case, but then of course when you're very excited about the game, then you're like, why? Like I said, it's like that inconvenience is probably enough to drive people insane.
So Titanfall has been the only one. Titanfall and Dota 2 are the ones who had that problem, and Dota 2's problem was, I'm so embarrassed I didn't even think of this. So it was a problem with the router. I had to flush the DNS. That's it. ipconfig, flush out the DNS. There you go.
How many days did it take you for you to be able to play a simple, basic match of Dota?
It took me 2 days.
2 days of you not being able to play the super mega popular PC game.
Yes.
That's very annoying. That's like... Just my point is that if you have the technical expertise, by all means, PC gaming will be great for you. It's great for me, actually, if you know it. But it's just that to get other people into it, they just the occasional hiccups that you're gonna run along down the line. Like computers, when a computer breaks down, it's all like I swear. Like I actually spent a couple years in high school, fixing computers all across the campus. Let me tell you, when a computer has a problem, they say something's broken. I swear, it's kind of like automotive repair. Like when people say, "Oh, my car doesn't start." Well, so many things could be the reason why your car doesn't start. Same thing with a computer. When something is broken, oh, it's slow. There's a lot of ways how the thing could be slow.
But
it's like that. It's like that barrier right there that just kind of makes it harder to maintain.
I go back to my original say though. Like I got this Alienware. And I've had 2 big bugs, one with Titanfall and one with Dota.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. People can't... Look, probably one of the biggest problems with computers is the person using it. And in this case, what if you click on some wrong internet link on the internet? What if that screws up your computer? What if you suddenly got like 5 rogue fake antivirus software is running on your computer? Because let's be honest, people can go to a lot of different places on the internet, and I'm not going to ask where, but
I'm not, like, the thing is though is maybe I just have a higher seal. Like I expect people to live to a higher standard, maybe, but like at least I can speak for myself. I'm not retarded. Like
that's for you though.
Like the first thing I do when I get a new computer up and running is I install Avast. First thing, Just
Avast doesn't stop everything. Norton doesn't stop everything. And antivirus software cannot stop everything.
Well,
Okay, that's like saying, oh, I've got an alarm system for my home. It will completely stop every burglary out there. Oh, I've got an alarm system for my car. It will completely stop all break-ins. No, it doesn't. It just prevents most of it. Like, to be honest, I don't think both of us. Like, to be honest, I don't think both of us are really qualified to say this kind of stuff because I just kind of come from the viewpoint that computers are really complicated. Why? Because I fixed them for a long time and realized that, and you know, I've had a lot of people come up to me to ask me to fix their computer, and I've had a lot of people who play games ask me to come up to fix their computers, and the general idea that I got out of it was that they are not the kind of people that are able to maintain a computer. You can certainly buy an Alienware. You can have one built for you. You can have it. You can have a computer that auto updates its drivers, and I'm sure there are some companies that definitely do that. They try to make it a lot easier, kind of like make your PC a little more automated, like a console. So, you know, when updates happen, your PC automatically does it for you, and you know that stuff's great. It's just that the time when some software has a major bug, or the time when some part inside the thing breaks outside the warranty, all of a sudden you have to call somebody and say, hey, this thing doesn't work. Hey, this old game doesn't work on my PC and it keeps glitching up and I have to download this and the internet says I have to download this unofficial patch. Should I do it? Hey, this co-op mode doesn't work on these two games. Can you come over and do it? Like, you know, stories like that is kind of why I feel is the hassle. Like, PC gaming is great, but there's kind of a price that you pay, and that is you gotta know how to deal with hassles. And if you don't know how, then you have to ask someone. And like, my viewpoint is that it's been like I have some best friends. They're not exactly PC enthusiasts, but they game on the PC. They have Steam. But, you know, every once in a while they keep calling me and say, hey, can you do this? And they have to wait for me to make some time open so I can come over and fix whatever bug happened in their game, go on the internet, dig deep, find some files, tweak some things. And, you know, like, and even in your case, Dota, very popular game. You gotta play Dota, but first we thought it was the router had to be changed, and then we found out just the DNS needed to be flushed. Just something that simple. And, you know, it's just like, what if we changed the router and found out that that didn't fix the problem? What then? It was just, like I said, if you have the expertise, by all means, go ahead and play PC gaming. It's great. I like it. And I totally encourage people that if you feel okay with owning a computer to game on, by all means, go for it. It's just that if I were to try and convince a person who is maybe not the best with learning technology, I think a console still has that plug in and go ability. And it's not going to really catch viruses. It's not going to really bug up on you terribly. And if it does bug up on you, then Sony is going to be on it right away because, you know, they've got identical systems out there. The PlayStation 4 that you buy is the one that were sold in the millions. It's not like, oh, I've got this bug on my computer because I had this specific computer configuration and the manufacturer and the gaming company just says, oh, we're sorry, your case is so rare, we can't help you. That's kind of like the thing, too. It's like, and I guess that's another problem. PCs are so diverse that if you have a bug, everyone is probably going to tell you, oh, everything's okay over here. It's like that Penny OK comic.
Oh, you just made me think of that.
Yeah, that's like the other thing, too. It's like, oh, I've got a bug here, and all you get is like 95% of the post saying, oh, everything's fine over here.
It's just like, why? Because I can't punch the internet. No.
But anyways, like I said,
but like I look at my, you know, I think that gap is getting smaller and smaller, and I think to like my past, you know, 8 months with this new laptop, and literally 2 games out of a library of mine of about 300-ish. And they've all worked. They've all played well. I've been able to max out almost all of them, except for Titanfall, which it's because of it requires a retarded amount of texture memory for a game that looks good, but doesn't look like it should require that much. And like only really two things I've had to look up, and it's for the most times just been instead of put a disc in and play, it's been download and play. Like and then GeForce automatically updates my drivers. Like it's and Optimus automatically updates my which video card I should be using. Like the gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I know that GameSpot actually just did a video on this. They built a gaming PC that ran every modern game that's multi-platform, Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider, etc., on max settings at, it got 40 to 60 frames per second on $560. It was $564. It was
How
an
loud is that
AMD
computer?
build.
How loud is that computer?
I am not sure.
Because here's one of the things. Now, if you decide to go the route of building your own computer, that's another thing you have to think about: noise. And noise is, man, I'm not really a PC building professional. I built my computer as best as I could, and the thing is pretty darn noisy when you game on it. The fan noise is pretty loud. Whereas with the PS4 and Xbox One, you're not going to really have that problem. So that's like another thing too. It's not just the performance, it's also kind of, I guess you could call it livability. Do you really want a gaming PC that's really loud just because it has a really cheap heatsink on it? Oh boy, gotta change it with a custom heatsink, but boy, you don't want to break that processor, do you? Or screw up along the way. Like I said. And if you go with a pre-built PC from Alienware, then you're thinking about spending like at least $800 or $1,000. So it's... I guess basically my point is that, yes, today it is easier than ever to game on PC. And to be honest, cost isn't a major deal because as long as you're not like buying games right away, Steam sales will help you save a lot of money in the long run. Like for example, if you don't buy Skyrim right away, for example, Skyrim, you could have bought it at $60 right away on Steam, or you could have waited until the next summer where you could get Skyrim for half off. It could be cheaper, but I guess the point is that while it is great to game on PC and it's great having a gaming laptop, I guess the complexity still is probably a little high.
I was still just amazed at this fucking build. Alright, get this build. This is including a mouse and keyboard and an operating system. Okay? The total after tax, $566.16. And it was able to run Titanfall on max, not max, very high, Thief on ultra, Battlefield 4 on ultra, plus multi-sampling, Battlefield 4 without, and Assassin's Creed 4 without, all getting the lowest frame rate on all those games was 42 frames per second. And this was the build. AMD... Okay, well, still, that's really goddamn impressive. That's,
I know, but still, how noisy is it? Let me tell you this. There's some things here that are just a little bit ridiculous sometimes, cause my mind to boggle. Okay? I have built my own computer, and there's still, and in the last year, I still found out a couple things that I didn't know I could do with it at all to make it run correctly. For example, I recently bought an SSD for it last holiday season, and guess what? I found out the entire time that I was running my computer in the wrong hard drive mode setting. Basically, and this was really weird because I thought something was really weird with my computer when I couldn't use Intel's rapid storage technology. And it was really weird because it's what? The motherboard is clearly a modern Intel chipset. It should be able to do it. And then it wasn't until I put an SSD in and found out that in the BIOS setting, I had my hard drives in IDE mode the entire time when they were supposed to be AHCI. And ever since I switched it to AHCI, guess what? The Intel rapid storage technology worked. So my computer theoretically could have had slightly better hard drive performance in the first 2 or 3 years I was using it. See the problem?
So, I get that, but like I said, the gap
Now,
is close.
okay, you know what? I think you're arguing more from a gaming laptop where everything's fixed up for you.
Well, yes,
So you
that
never
too.
have to, because that's from a building your computer perspective. I think that's still a little too daunting. From a gaming laptop perspective, well, yeah, you still need to worry about the maintenance part of it and the cost, the initial cost. I think that's another barrier right there. Is that yes, over time, if you are careful about what games you buy and you pay attention to sales and get games at good deals, over time, the long-term ownership of having a PC could be lower than game consoles. Heck, you don't have to pay for a subscription.
And also, games fucking look better.
Games look better initially. Your system is like on the bleeding edge in some way for its price range when you go for gaming laptops. Like, it's pretty freaking cool. And you don't really need to worry about maintaining it for a bit, because let's be honest, it's probably got the latest drivers and everything. It's got some tools to help you out, which is great and all. It's just initial cost. I think that's still a barrier. Yes, $550 can build you a gaming PC that can play a lot of games on very high settings, but that is $550, which is $150 more expensive than a PlayStation 4.
But it is only $50, and after you factor in tax, like $30 more expensive than an Xbox One.
Great. Can you tell me? But the Xbox One, yes, but does that PC come with a Kinect?
No, but on my PC, I can do my homework. I can do my taxes. I can talk. I can do a bunch of shit that my Xbox can't do.
Don't people already have another computer that does that, or a phone?
Okay, so let me tell you.
But I'm going to be kind of honest here, and I don't think people really buy desktop PCs these days because the tablet and the phone and laptops have just kind of put it on decline for a while now.
Yeah, but it still does those things, and it is the best at doing those things. Well, it's better than a tablet anyway. My experience of doing it on the phone is, the phone, in my opinion, it's you can do it and it's good, but it's kind of one of those things of, okay, it's good enough. Like it's not the experience that I get out of my full laptop or desktop. Laptop, yes, that's valid. But still, like, it has that added bonus. And it, like you said, there is no subscription fee, so you save money that way, because when you buy these new consoles, you're forgetting about the $50 to $60 a year that's going to it. And then, in fact, like that, there's a lot of good shit there. And like I said, it's been a while since I built one for myself personally, but it's easier than ever. The gap is not as bad as it has been in the past. So anyway, we should probably wrap this up. And I don't, at this point, I don't think you can argue. If you know what the fuck you're doing, then the PC is absolutely the best place to play.
And I agree with that. It's like I agree with that. I agree with that. It's just like, if you know what you're doing, like me and Bronson, by all means, go ahead and build a computer or buy a computer and enjoy it. We're just kind of arguing from more of the perspective of maybe someone who's less technologically literate.
Yeah.
Computers
but if you're in the
complicated
Reno, Nevada area and you're not technologically literate, come to ACI Moondog. Voted Reno's best computer store 16 years running.
Shameless plug. Shameless. That's all I'm gonna say.
I do the same thing for our website at cons, okay? Alright.
But at cons, you're supposed to do that, whereas here it's like they didn't even buy marketing space and you're just giving it to them for free.
True, but they do give us gift cards to give out at panels, so
there's a one-time promotion, but
yeah, there you go. There's a freebie.
There was a couple times I wanted to chime in, but yeah, it just pretty much comes down to like to us, yes, it's like secondhand nature, but to the general public, it's like rocket science. Bronson? It's just how it is. Like, you can say, you can go online and read how to do this and read how to do that, But that
Like-
applies to pretty much anything. Doesn't mean you understand it and you're willing to learn it. Plus,
Like-
it's too complicated. People don't want to go through that.
It also helps that I started doing it when I was 14, so back then it was even harder. And like I've been doing this for so fucking long that like I don't know, maybe I am just that out of touch. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, like the thing that is that enthusiasts are kind of a minority. Yes, companies like Razer and Alienware make a lot of money off of PC.
Razer makes all of its money on enthusiasts.
Yeah, they do nothing but enthusiast products. But the thing is that enthusiasts, there aren't many enthusiasts, but enthusiasts are a minority. Because to a lot of people, like, I don't like using the word hardcore gamer because it's like, how do you define a hardcore gamer? Simply by the number of hours they game a week? Well, a lot of people could play lots of games every week. Heck, you just need to be a person who just plays Mass Effect, Madden, and Call of Duty, and Forza 40 hours a week, like I did at one point, and that can be considered a hardcore gamer, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have technical expertise.
Or you could be playing Nintendo games the entire time. Segue into our next topic.
Yay.
Nintendo has announced their E3 plans. Not really a surprise. Once again, they're not going to have a press conference. They're just going to do Nintendo Direct, as they did last year. So it's not really a surprise.
Which is fine if the stream works. And also, the stream is going to be at a reasonable hour. So if if we're in LA, covering E3, we don't have to wake up too late. And if we're at home, same thing. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific. And it's going to feature a bevy of new game announcements, including The Legend of Zelda for Wii U. They're also going to have it's going to be similar to Nintendo Direct, and it's going to be branded Nintendo Treehouse live at E3. It's going to have a bunch of exclusive interviews throughout the day. They did, however, book the Nokia Theater still. And it'll be renting out the entire building to provide fans and people covering the event with a Super Smash Bros. Wii U tournament. A total of 16 highly skilled smashers are invited. It hasn't revealed who the players are yet. It says fans. They haven't said how fans will be able to watch or attend. And if you are in the press like we are, the game will be playable on the show floor. Let's see. Yeah, and basically it is their sign. Apparently they've spent a lot of time balancing the title. And Nintendo apparently seems like they're taking it as like a real fighting game. Cute.
I could kind of tell they're taking it more seriously whenever they did that for Glory thing. Let's be honest here. The reason why I think like Melee and Brawl were just never really tourney games is because there was literally there was no way they could patch it and adjust anything. If actually in the case of Brawl, if you went through enough effort, you could download the Project M mod and go through the whole mess of trying to get that to run, and then you would have a game that's quote more competitive. So
why are like I'm sorry, but like as someone who plays real fighting games, these people who are this into Smash seem crazy to me. Like I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, why don't you just play Street Fighter? It's more technical. It's like better designed and balanced. It wasn't designed to be a party game in the first place. Like, why? Just, I don't get it. I don't. Like, I like Smash. I really like Super Smash. Like, I have a ton of fun with those games. I think everyone does. But, like, these people who are like, Final Destination, no items. Smash is so hardcore. I'm just like, ugh.
See, my problem with that is, like, I kind of feel like, well, yeah, any game can be taken competitively, is how I look at it. Smash included. However, it's like, for me to like really like a competitive game, it needs, or at least take a game competitively, is that I could have as much fun playing it laid back as I do playing it intensely, and or tourney rules. I should put it that way. And in the case of Halo Reach, yeah, if you applied tourney rules and got rid of jetpacks and invincibility and all, and sprinting and all that stuff, and just had weapons, heck, that's still Halo. I will still like it. If you put tourney rules into racing games, you can only drive this specific car at this specific level. Hey, it's still the core experience is still there. The core experience of Smash Brothers is me hitting a bunch of people, throwing items everywhere, hitting a smash ball, and causing a giant kaboom to go on the stage.
Also,
that is Smash Brothers to me. And when you take a lot of that away, it's...
I want to officially rename the For Glory mode in Super Smash Brothers to the Salty Spittoon. And I want to rename for fun Super Weenie Hut Jr. in honor of the SpongeBob picture I told you guys about earlier. So, continue. I'm sorry. I've just had to get that out because I was thinking about it.
Yeah, but I basically finished my thought. It's just like, when you apply tourney rules and then the core experience gets lost, that's when I kind of have a problem with tourney rules. And in Smash Brothers, the core experience I think of is like you basically smack your friends around, throwing items at each other, and hitting the smash ball and getting your ultimate smash and making a huge kaboom happen. Tourney rules... Tourney rules make it more fair, but it's just not very fun. Like it's just like Smash Brothers at tournaments. You know what? I don't really have a problem with that because let's be honest here. I'm not a person who's gonna decide whether League or Dota is a better tournament game. Okay, I'm not the kind of person who thinks like that. Basically, it's just like, look, if I were to play this game in a tournament, am I gonna have as much fun still? And Smash Brothers to me is just no. League, if I were to play League laid back, or if I was somehow crazy enough to train for tournaments, I probably would have the same amount of fun playing in the tourney as I do being laid back.
So yeah, I'm the same way with a lot of games I like. Like you and I played Street Fighter. Street Fighter's tourney rules are basically what we played, except everyone uses fight sticks, and we had fun. And I think about when I played Madden tournaments, it's just we played Madden. Granted, as you guys have said, playing me in Madden, neither of you want to play against me anymore. I don't know why. Oh God. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's like Smash Brothers, the salty spittoon way is what I'm gonna continue calling it. Is just. Like it's not fun. Like the best map in Smash Brothers is like the most fun I ever have in Smash Brothers is like, okay, all items on, Poke floats, everyone's super huge, 1v1v1v1. Let's do it. Like that's when Smash is the most fun. Like I sit and I talk to people like this guy I know named Christian, who's like, Smash is fucking best 1v1 Final Destination, no items. And I'm like, you mean if you want to make the game lame and boring? Yes. Absolutely. Man. It just, and you know what? It's okay for a game to be like casual and just be for fun and still be played at tournaments. Like, I know there are going to be Heroes of the Storm tournaments. That game is pegged as the casual MOBA. And that's fine. Like, I don't care. I'm going to have fun with that game. So, I don't know. Like, it's... man. It's weird. I actually have a news story. Oh, by the way, Nick, I know you want to go to questions, but I actually do have a quick news story. Supposedly, the Mass Effect trilogy, with all of its DLC built in, is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. And Mass Effect 4 is apparently in development.
Of course,
that's rumored, right?
Yeah, that's rumored.
Look, of course.
Are the rumors saying is it just gonna be like a re-release of it, or is they gonna do kind of what is like a remaster similar to what like Naughty Dog's doing with The Last of Us and what Crystal Dynamics did with Tomb Raider?
Supposedly, it's just going to be pretty. It's going to be basically the PC version. Like that's pretty much like it's going to be prettier.
Doesn't seem very special.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. They already put out the Mass Effect trilogy for Xbox 360 and PS3, so it's like
but that actually didn't have all the DLC built in. So
maybe this actually it depends on what version you get too.
Even then, it doesn't because it doesn't have all the Mass Effect 3 DLC.
Yeah, it's like, man.
So if you want the version that has everything, literally everything, all the DLC, then you are getting the PS4 version if this is true. So,
as far as Mass Effect 4 is being in development, yeah, that's no surprise at all. Look, Mass Effect makes a lot of money. Mass Effect 3 made a lot of money. Mass Effect 3 may be like the weakest game out of out of the main Mass Effect trilogy, but guess what? It was like the one that I think that sold the most. So it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna make another Mass Effect. Why not? It's EA.
That's like saying Microsoft wouldn't release another Halo. Like, you're not gonna not release a game that's gonna guaranteed sell at least 8 million copies.
Man, you want to know what's great about Naughty Dog guys and a very few SLED developers? The fact that they finish a storyline and go, man, we're done with this universe. We don't need to tap it anymore. We can let it go. And I have a feeling that is something the game industry has painfully cannot do. Like, Metal Gear 4 should have been it. And, I'm excited for the Phantom Pain, but, you look at where that is placed in Metal Gear's timeline, and it's like, wow, you guys literally had to find the one blank spot on this timeline to tell a story.
Well, just think about it. I think Kojima is not really doing Metal Gear anymore after this.
Yeah, probably not. But still, well, he said that after every one since 2. After 2, I'm done with Metal Gear. After 3, I'm done with Metal Gear. After 4, I'm done with Metal Gear. Peace Walker, I'm done with Metal Gear. Okay. Like
in the case of Mass Effect, let's be honest here,
it's owned by EA.
It's EA, so we're already thinking of some evil conspiracy planets going behind the scenes. But I have a feeling that even if the original development team, if they were somehow still together, which I don't think they are anymore, even if you had that same core people who made Mass Effect 2 say, okay, after Mass Effect 3, we're stopping. Well, EA would probably just fire them and just hire some other people to keep it going. Anyways.
Oh my god.
It's just like Call of Duty. I mean, from a gamer standpoint, a lot of gamers do want it yearly because they buy it every year, but it's like Activision isn't going to stop publishing that game every single year. It sells 10, 15 million copies guaranteed. Why would they stop publishing that? That's just money in the bank.
So, this is something that you guys know Torrance Davis. We all do. Yeah, Nick knows him really well. I've met him at CES, and I argue with him and John Shaw on Twitter all the time. It's great. But they've been posting about re-releases on consoles, right? Like Tomb Raider, Last of Us, now Mass Effect. And it's like, motherfuckers, you're buying the same game over and over and over fucking again. Why? And just because it's prettier. And my case is I wouldn't have played Tomb Raider on PS4 if I didn't rent it. And the same thing is going to be for The Last of Us. I love The Last of Us. It was my favorite game of last year. It was the best game of last year. I'm not buying another copy. I'm going to rent it. Mass Effect Trilogy with all the DLC built in, same thing. I'm probably just going to rent it. People keep buying this shit though, and I'm like, how many of those people are the same people buying that same fucking game over again? I mean, I bought games twice, but usually it's because they actually add something. Like Persona 4 Golden is a significantly big jump. Like Ocarina of Time 3D. First off, that's not like a year, 2 years later. That's 15 years later, and it looks and controls significantly better. And they made the Water Temple not the worst thing of all time. Um, so I don't know. Like I look at Final Fantasy X HD, I'm like, okay, that's how you do an HD. Like that's a pretty good example. Like, okay, it's not the full $60, it's $40. It's 2 games, not just one. And you get the international edition, which was never released in the States, and everything is way prettier. Like they up-resed it, added some more polygons, added some more colors, redid the pre-rendered backgrounds and the soundtrack. Or you look at Wind Waker.
Another thing too about it that adds to it is that it's a 10-year-old game.
That too.
Which means that if you wanted to play it, you either have to go get the PlayStation 2 Classic or buy a PlayStation 2. And
actually, it's a 13-year-old game.
I know, but it's at least 10 years old, right? It wasn't like the case of the Mass Effect trilogy, where it's like, okay, guys, we finished the trilogy. We finished the Mass Effect trilogy. Here you go. See, here's another re-release.
Like the oldest part of that trilogy is 7 years old. Which, like that's just one piece of it. Like the newest part is barely 2 years old. And actually, if you include the DLC, the newest part of it is only a year old. Like Tomb Raider wasn't even a year old. Last of Us will barely be a year old. And at points it's kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. Like at points it's kind of like.
See, this is kind of like what I was kind of arguing about when we were talking about remakes. Was because it's like, yes, there are people like me who have never played God of War, 1 or 2.
But that was the problem because, like I don't see those as a problem because, like you said, 5-10 year differences. Like the Virtual Console is rad. Like Mega Man X is 20 years old, and finding a copy in a store is a giant pain in the ass.
My concern is that this whole trend of like releasing the same game, releasing an old game over and over and over again, it gets very tiring.
I mean, to be fair, the same shit did happen on the Xbox 360 early on in its life cycle when we got Splinter Cell, and we got Gun, and we got Tony Hawk.
It's kind of like a situation where it's like, Square Enix definitely has done this before. How many versions of Final Fantasy IV have we had? You've got the Super Nintendo, you've got the Swan Song Color, I think, Game Boy Advance, DS, Virtual Console, PlayStation 1. It's just...
But they won't remake 7.
No, not a remake, like re-release. Not a remake here. They remade it for the DS, which, okay, that's fair enough, but it's like Game Boy Advance, Wonder Swan Color, PlayStation 1. iOS, I would say. Android, maybe?
Yeah, so, like, the thing is, though, for those older games, it doesn't piss me off as much. Like, it's these ones that are a year old. Like, really? Like, it's a fucking year old. Perfect example is like, Anthony, you never played fucking Persona 4. Like, if you owned a Vita, like, Persona 4 is like 6 years old, and buying it on Vita, great. That's smart. Muramasa is 6 years old. Getting a better looking Vita version, and also in the case of the Vita, yeah, now it's portable. Like, same thing with these up-reses. Like, Halo 2 HD is coming out this year. That game is 10 years old. First off, how many of you feel really fucking old because Halo 2 is 10 years old? Yeah, okay. But back to that, like, yeah, that's 10 years old. I see why that. Like, what? Like, Nick, are you gonna buy Last of Us again?
Probably not. I'm probably gonna rent it, but
for $60 too. Like, who's doing this?
Well, we'll see what Naughty Dog does, because they were asked whether or not people who had purchased the PlayStation 3 version, if they were going to have any ability to pay an upgrade price to get the PlayStation 4 version, and they said they were looking into different business models. So who knows? Maybe we'll see them do something
that is one I would bite on. Like if it was like the what they did at the launch, where like you got, if you bought Call of Duty on PS3, you got the PS4 one for $20. Like if they did that with Last of Us, I would say, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, like if they did something where, yeah, if you had the PlayStation 3 version, you could get the PlayStation 4 version for $20. I think that'd be a great move.
Yeah, that'd be worth it. That'd be worth it just because, like, oh, okay, fine, I'd be able to play multiplayer with people who, got the PS4 version or whatever it is. But like, oh god, once again, like the older games don't bother me. I think the Virtual Console and the PlayStation 1 classics are one of the most underrated features of the PS3 and the Wii. Like, those are horribly underrated features. Same thing with the Vita. Oh, hey, we forgot another news story. I'm sorry this keeps going on longer and longer. But Sony put a bunch of games up on the PlayStation Store that weren't originally on the Vita. And turns out it was just a glitch, and they immediately took them back off. So you had about 4 days or 2 days to get Crash Bandicoot on the Vita. And it works on the Vita, and it runs on the Vita. I don't know why they just don't let people buy it on the Vita. But fuck it. YOLO. Oh god.
Can someone just please choke you now?
No, you can blame Alex.
Yeah, Bronson just used the word YOLO.
I'm kind of glad that word has just kind of fallen out of the trend meter.
Well, okay. I'm debating on inviting Alex back to our next panel at Game Expo. So, because
only stipulations, you can't use the word YOLO.
Well, just because you said that, the first thing he's gonna do is say YOLO niggas on stage. Oh god, I don't know. Like the upgrade thing made sense at launch, and then and right now we're in that transitional point where these new consoles don't have a ton of games. So I guess if you never owned these games or played them or never had that system, it might make sense. Like, to be fair, a lot of people I know don't own fucking PS3s, but they do own PS4s and would love The Last of Us. But on the other end of that, I owned a PS3 and I played The Last of Us, and I'm not willing to pay. I would say I'd be willing to pay $20 to go through it again, but prettier and running better. So, anyway, we got 2 comments here from 2 of our lovely listeners. Are you guys ready?
I am.
Are your bodies ready? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
All right. Cray T says, "Do you think the PS4/Xbox One together will sell more than the PS3/360?" I don't know, and the reason I don't know is because the PS3 and the 360 still have not hit the sub $200 price mark, and they are still expensive as hell in South America and parts of Europe. So those, when they drop in price there, could potentially see a sales upswing again. Not only that, but currently, shit tons of people are playing games on PCs more than ever. Like, tons of developers are saying the money's at PC, go to PC, what the fuck are we doing on consoles? And also, iPads, tons of people, there's more options now than ever to play games. And like we had said earlier, yes, it's not accessible to everyone, but PC is more accessible than it's ever been and making more money than it's ever been. So, these consoles are off to a great start, especially the PS4. So it's kind of up in the air for me. I don't know. I could see it happening, but I could also see these systems hitting a brick wall when 2 years from now they're still $400 and people are like, motherfucker, I got a tablet and a computer.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be very close or I think it's going to fall a little bit short. The only reason why I say that, and I think that when I say that, I mean the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One falling short. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are selling much faster and much better than any other previous generation. But a big part of that people need to consider is the fact that these consoles were readily available. If you took the PlayStation 3 is an exception. Those was really readily available for a while, but that's because that was a $600 console, which was just asinine. If you look at the Xbox 360, Xbox 360 was 100% available the first couple months. I'm sure we would have seen similar numbers. Just
Dude. I had to like fucking go through hell to get my three. Like I got it at launch and then it broke, and then like the waiting, and then just fucking then like, oh god, that was a bitch. And I knew people who like had to go through hell to get those things the first couple months, and then the Wii, like, oh god.
Yeah, so the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they're customized PCs, so they're much easier to manufacture, so they're able to produce a lot more. Now, part of the reason why I don't think this generation is going to reach the sales numbers of the PlayStation 3 and 360 is solely based on the fact that the PlayStation 3 and 360 generation was the PS2 and Xbox. So the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was a bigger jump than the PS3 and the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, solely based on the fact that it was the introduction of high-definition gaming. Like, yes, the Xbox did HD gaming, but not all the games supported HD, and it just wasn't true HD gaming. Like
the original Xbox was just such a bitchin' system. I love that thing.
And then, yes, the original Xbox had multiplayer gaming, but multiplayer gaming really, truly evolved with the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 on both platforms, and then the PlayStation 3 was also the introduction of a new disc format being Blu-ray. So there's just so many things going for last generation over this current generation. There's no new disc format. We're still running at HD. Yes, the graphics look better because of the higher-end hardware, but it's not like we're using a brand new disc format, and it's not outputting 4K resolution, so I think it's going to do very well. I agree with Bronson. I think it's going to get to a certain point to where the sales are just going to kind of slump, and they'll be good. But people are saying that this is going to be the first time we see both consoles cross 100 million. I just don't think we're going to see that. Could we see the PlayStation 4 cross 100 million? Maybe, but it's just like Bronson said. The PlayStation 3 and 360 aren't at that $99 price. It's like once those hit $99, what's going to happen? They're going to sell like crazy. So I don't know. Like, it'll be curious to see what happens.
How many people do you know who bought one of the consoles last gen and didn't buy the other, and they still haven't bought the other? And like when those hit $100, they're going to be like, "Fuck it, why not?" And like they're going to have that huge back catalog to sift through. Like I know so many people who don't own one or the other, and they would go back to play those games if that were $100. So yeah, and also we keep forgetting about like territories like Brazil and fucking South America where like a PS3 now is like still like $500, which is nuts, but that is the case.
Personally, I think I really don't know, because the future can change really, really quickly, and you never know. Like one of the reasons why, do I think the PS4 and Xbox One will continue to sell like crazy? Will they sell more than the PS3 and Xbox 360 combined? I'm also on the fence on this one. I don't know. Because like Bronson said, there's so many options out there now. So many options. And PC gaming is better than ever. Because let's be honest here, back in about 06, 07, 08, those were terrible days for PC games. They were terrible days. You think about it. At that time, gaming companies were trying to come up with ways to do DRM, which was driving everyone insane. Like Ubisoft was like, you always have to be connected to the internet. If you even cut off your internet, you're locked out of your game. A game that you paid like $50 for. In addition, you have a choice between an aging operating system that's due for replacement or a bloated new operating system. Would you stick to the old trustworthy Windows XP but doesn't have DirectX 10, or do you go with the bloated, fat, slow Vista but it has DirectX 10 on it? So and not only that, but like to get Vista games to look right, Vista already took a lot of power just to work. So it was just terrible days for the PC game back then.
And ports were really garbage. And let us not forget that just there weren't as many options as there are. Like when you think about 2005, if you want to play real video games, like even what is now cell phone games back then were real ass video games. And like if you wanted to play those, you were either gonna buy a PSP/DS GBASP, or you were gonna buy a home console, and realistically a home console. And then like same thing with kind of '06. Like the first iPhone wasn't out till '07, and the iPhone didn't really get big until like 2009. Like that's when because that's when 3G and better prices and a bunch of other shit that came with it. So I mean,
remember when the iPhone came out at $600?
Yeah, that's nuts.
I remember the story that they price cutted it by like $100 like 2 months after, and the people were like up in arms.
And that was $600 on contract. Let me go ahead and clarify that.
I remember.
Yeah, $600 on contract. How crazy does that sound?
Yeah, but so you have more options today than ever, and then there's also the PS3 and Xbox 360 had very, very long lifespans. At this point, they're probably twice as long. Like in the case of the PS3, it's twice the usual length. You think about it. The Xbox 360 is going to be 9 years old this year.
Oh, the Xbox 360,
and the PlayStation 3 is going to be 8 years old this year. And the PlayStation 3 is not finished yet, okay? It's not finished until Persona 5 happens. So
that's our rule. PS3 is not done until Persona 5's out, goddammit.
Yeah, but they enjoyed really long lifespans. And you think about it, 4 years from 4 years into the Xbox 360's lifespan, and the PS3's lifespan was about like 2009, 2010. Would it make any sense to launch a new console?
No.
Because let's be honest here, I think the big reason why you couldn't launch a new console was because you still had in the case of the PlayStation, you still had a strong library coming out, and in 360 you still had some decent options. And not to mention, do you really think you can pitch a $400 or $500 game console to a recession? You're not.
I mean, that's really hard to do now, right? Like, yeah, these systems are selling great, but like, like I work I have a not paycheck to paycheck kind of lifestyle, but really fucking close. And when I was working at AT&T, not as close, but still making good money, but not where I'd want to be. And it's like, but man, it's hard out there, man. And trying to pitch to the average consumer, not us, like the hardcore gamer, like we are gonna buy at least one new system to enjoy our games on, even if we have to go donate blood to go do it. Hey, Aaron and I talked about that. We weren't joking.
I know.
We were like, man, if we can't afford this because we have to pay bills, we can donate blood to get a PS3 or PS4. It would take 8 weeks of donating blood.
Yeah,
but that's but like you let's say you're like, we all started playing games as kids. I got my first home console when I was like 6 or 7. Anthony around the same age, I imagine. Nick around the same age. Like, could you imagine going to your parents and say, "I want this new system, $500"?
They wouldn't buy it at all.
Because I remember, because when we were kids, the PlayStation was $300, and that was super expensive. And then 64 was $200, and that seemed okay. Like
I said, it's just like, can you pitch a brand new $500 system to a recession? You can't. That was 2009. That's 4 years after the Xbox 360 launch, and it was just, you couldn't do that. And not to mention, I believe it was about late 2010 when I got my PlayStation 3 for $300. Which at that point, the hardware is like 4 years old, and I'm still paying $300 for what is effectively a 4-year-old game console. I mean, built as new.
You look at the generation before that, and the PS2 was the real PS2's lifespan, like their official lifespan, was 2000 to 2013. But it's, before the next generation happened, lifespan was 2000 to 2006. Stopped making worth crap games 2008. The GameCube 2001 2006. Original Xbox 2001 2006. So 4 to 5 years per console. The PlayStation consoles get 5 to 7, sometimes 8, and like that. And those consoles, like you look at, first off, that was not during a recession, and those consoles launched cheaper. They launched at the PS2 and Xbox were $300. The GameCube was $200. GameCube went down to $150 within months, and then by the second year, I think PS2 went down to like $170, and OG Xbox went down to $200. And by 2004, they were both down to $150.
I think you need to account. You have to account for
inflation. I know, but even then, we weren't in a recession, and also tech was in this weird place. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Anthony? Go ahead.
I was gonna say account for $2,000 is not really the year $2,000 isn't really the same as the year 2014 dollars.
Yeah,
but yeah, $150 isn't really that bad.
Yeah,
that's like $180 or $190 today if I were to take one ridiculous estimate.
Yeah, could you imagine if the PS, let's say 3 years from now, 4 years from now into its life cycle, the PS4 is $190? Can you imagine that? No one's gonna predict that. It's
you
not
mean
gonna happen.
4? You mean 4 years? In 2010, PS4 being $200.
Okay, so
I would just went and bought one without a second thought. Really.
Let's say that this generation follows the pattern of the 6th generation of consoles, and price drops happen according the same way, in which 2-ish years from now, the PS4 is $200.
Wow.
Think about it. Because that's essentially what happened. That generation moves super fast, if you think about it. Anyway, we got a last question here, and it looks like Solid Kratos isn't going to swoop in with a comment this time. Thank Christ. James says, Drive Club a buy for you guys with the new details? ? How do you think it will compare to Forza?
Well, we actually kind of covered about this. I don't think it's going to be Forza, because Forza is it's a Gran Turismo competitor. It has hundreds of cars, lots of tracks around the world, designed to communicate Gran Turismo. Drive Club just seems like a smaller project. That's about, kind of the cool and fun part of car culture instead of the, we're going to put in every conceivable type of car that we can think of, including SUVs. So
yeah, I agree with Anthony. I'm definitely going to download the PlayStation Plus edition because, it's going to be free. Why not? I'm just kind of assess whether it's worth a buy from there. I'm definitely excited and happy to see that they've delayed it and how much they've improved it. And when I go to E3, I'm sure they'll have it replaced, so I'll definitely look forward to checking it out and see how much improved it is. Obviously you don't delay a game for a year without making some pretty big improvements.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be at E3 with you, and be able to be like, yo, this game is really aged well and they fixed it, or, oh my god, we were horribly wrong. What the fuck were they thinking? So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a buy for me. I'm not the biggest Forza fan as is, so being like, how do you think it'll compare to Forza to me is kind of like saying, how do you think it'll compare to this game that you kind of like, but aren't the world's biggest fan of? So, yeah. Anyway, we're on iTunes and YouTube, and you should go to those places and give us positive reviews.
Yes, please check us out on iTunes. He said we're also on YouTube, so check us out there. Obviously, if you're here, you're probably on thegamerx.com, or you're on iTunes listening to us now, so be sure to check out the website, thegamerx.com, if you are not already. So with that said, anything else before we close it out?
You guys should get pepperoni, bacon, steak pizzas. They're pretty good.
Leave it to Bronson to bring up the food.
Whoa.
Hell yes, whoa.
Alright, guys. Well, that closes out Unscripted Access episode number 88. Thank you guys for listening. We
love
are
you.
out.
Bye.
Bye.